welcome to Follow Everton. Those in the UK, I suppose you're staying up pretty late. Those in the Australasia region, it's at least 4:45 in the morning here. East Coast, maybe a nice, convenient 6:47 for a 7 o'clock kickoff. And those in the US, I imagine it's an evening game out in Atlanta at the Mercedes Benz Stadium. This is Aussie Chris covering Follow Everton and the Everton match where we'll be playing here in the next 10-15 minutes. Everton have lost the first two games of this friendly. Man United have been very much on the other side. We've already got a lot of comments going through in the chat, so I'll get to them shortly. And thank you to all the regulars that are already on here. We will kick off with the starting lineups, and I was able to pull up the benches just now as well, so I'll go into that. But it looks like we have Pickford in goals today. So a highlight there. We know Jared Branthwaite is still not with the squad. So we have Michael Keane and James Tarkowski is starting today. So that's a great sign there. Looks like we're going full strength at the back with no Nathan Patterson in the starting lineup. So we imagine to see Jake O'Brien at right back, Vitaly Mikolenko on the left. Up front, it'll be Beto. And then we'll have a midfield five comprising of Illiman and Jai, Charlie Alcaraz, Tim Bunham, James Garner, and Idrissa Gana Gay. And I was able to add just before, we have substitutes as well. I think I doubled the word subs there, so let me edit that. But we'll go over our substitutes as well. So we have our Travers, Harry Trier, Blake McNeil, Barry, Chimiti, Aznou, the new signing, is going to be joining. Clark, Onyango, Heath, and Thomas. So very quickly we get into quite a, as we all know, a very youthful subs bench. So at least from a starting lineup, I think this is about as strong, other than you could argue Beto to Barry, or maybe Armstrong coming out on the right. But I would imagine we're going to see the likes of James Garner maybe moving out to that right side at some point today, but maybe we're starting with the inverted winger of Blake McNeil. Those in the comments as well have mentioned the strength of Man United at the moment. We are struggling to get players in, but United are the perfect example of you may not be playing well right now, but you've got brand recognition, irrespective of a crumbling stadium, to bring in new players, which means they have the likes of Bryan Mbeumo starting for them. And I think they've also got their new signing from Wolves and Mateus Cunha. So in other words, a very strong 11 here. The main difference, I'm not sure, for those that know United a little bit better than I do, what the keeper by India, what he's like. Is he a good option there? They have Lenny Yoro, who was a relatively new signing from the French league about a year ago. In their back line, they've got Shaw back, Ugarte, Mateus de Ligt, Dallo, who's caused us some problems in the past. And then through the midfield, looks like they'll have Mainu, as well as we just mentioned, and Burma and Cunha more in aggressive attacking roles. And Ahmad will join Mainu as well through that midfield with Bruno Fernandes. And not sure who we're going to see up in striker. I'm not that familiar with the Ugarte, but maybe he would be in that role. But they also have, looks like they've got their bench included. So Hoyland, Obi, Mount. So relatively strong squad here. You'd argue a Premier League, outside of maybe the keeper, a Premier League starting 11 for United today as well. So they're definitely going for it. And I think it's a good practical test for Everton, which I suppose at the moment we're getting pretty shown up on all of our matches. So we'll go from there. Why don't I jump into comments while I load the content here on my Stan app. So we going through comments. Come on, Blue Boys. Let's kick some. Not sure if you meant to reference Arsenal or that just turned out that way. Gaspy's very excited early. Let's see who else we got. No injuries, no win. Yeah, we don't have the squad depth to afford injuries. But then again, in pre-season, as we all know, this is all about match fitness and tactical cohesiveness for the squad, or at least for the squad that we do have. Yeah, Hoyland being available for 30 mil. It's amazing the inflated price of basically every player at the moment that you can get in. I forgot the exact pricing for the likes of Broya, but if you, for those that do are following that and add that into the chat, we can talk to it. But it's been quite difficult for a lot of us, and clearly David Moyes, who's getting quite public about his frustration about the squad strength, and I think that's gonna be something I'll talk to in more depth, depending on how the game's going. But if we can't get the likes of Tyler Diblin across and Rasmus Hoyland's worth 30 mil, we're going to feel very taken advantage of financially. But we're in the predicament now that people know that we need players. Yep, Flaming Galah, I am. um, Yep, and I think from Flash the original, this is about as good a lineup as we can expect to ask for right now, especially without Branthwaite, but getting to see Pickford coming into the squad today. And we'll get a pretty good practical test out, assuming that Mateus Cunha, Bruno Fernandes, and Bryan Mbeumo, those front three are world class. Do they play world class together right now? Really don't know. In terms of where we're at for the match, we've got a build up here with looks like the Man United players are coming out with their training tops going onto the concourse here. So maybe they're a bit behind, or they're just going to change jerseys here in a minute. But coming through the Mercedes Benz Stadium, it looks like quite an excellent stadium. I'm not as tuned into the US stadiums as I thought I would be here, but this one looks like it's quite a nice quality. The image from my what do you call it? The thumbnail shows a really unique looking outside. It looks like a crumpled piece of metal artistically, and the interior looks excellent as well. I would imagine this is the home of the Atlanta Falcons NFL team, so going to be a high quality stadium. May not be perfectly designed for our form of football, but their stadiums are designed to handle rectangular fields as well, versus a lot of the multi-purpose stadiums you see around the world, like in Australia, where it's more of an oval for cricket, among other things. Yeah, it's a time to look for positives. One of which is our commitment to Everton by wearing the new kit. I have not got a new kit this season. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to get. Not fully sold, honestly, yet on the blue waves of this new season of the new outfit. I love the yellow shirt, but I have the yellow jacket, which was the training kit from last year. So excellent shirt, but otherwise I'm just doubling up on my yellows. Once there's a formal release of that alternate third kit, the black with the blue and yellow, I think I might be going that way. Let's see. Lefty McSlow. Yeah, he's never been one for exceptional pace, but I think what's concerning me this year is he seems a little bit slow and out of sorts on link up play and delivery. So the second he gets there, we'll be in a better state. But I'm kind of worried that he looks quite kind of gluggy and isolated in the times we've seen him so far. So we're seeing the squads getting ready in the tunnel. So Everton wearing their typical blue, the home kit, and looks like Man United will be similar in their red uniform. Not sure if you're talking about me for the hairstyle, but I did get a haircut yesterday. I need to change up my look. I never thought until I was doing content more often that you can't be caught wearing the same shirt 2 weeks in a row, otherwise it looks like you've got no kits. So I've got to, if I wear the same shirts too often, I better have a different haircut and a beard trim, so I have a bit of variety there. But looks like the squad is coming out of the tunnel. The fans are right in there, basically within arm's reach of the players. Looks almost like classic American wanting to get autographs on the red carpet. So give some fan treatment, eh? And we're talking about James Garner. At times, as we know, he has the ability to make an excellent delivery, but he has been very guilty of not beating the first man. Oh, Flash talking about Pickford's new hairstyle. Yeah, I guess I haven't seen it yet. I'm gonna keep an eye out and give you all the goss on his haircut. I guess it's gonna be short back and sides rather than a flick over long to flick over the back. But we will see if he's going for the 1920s look again. Let's see. Well, Bryan Mbeumo's haircut, no shock, clean shaven. They're just zooming in on the United squad right now. But yeah, looking like a pretty full stadium today. A lot of red in the crowd. Yeah, it looks a little bit more of a yeah. The Pickford haircut. It's I'd call it a little bit messy, but it's not. It's a notably shorter, so he wouldn't get away. He couldn't pull off the old flick back that he did last season. It looks like. Shelley, I'm not 100% sure on that. Could well be, but I know that's been a challenge for us. We've got the players to excel in those positions. You've got an excellent left foot from Dwight McNeil. We have quite a few large bodies, especially come the start of the season. You either have Michael Keane if someone's injured in the centre back role where he can strike it from anywhere, as we know. But you have the likes of Jared Branthwaite, James Tarkowski, Beto, and Jared Branthwaite all able to win headers, and that's huge. Oh, are we? There's no Ryan to tell me to pause and go forward, Emma. Unless I can certainly do that. The problem that no matter what I do, everyone, I guess those in the UK are likely to have the same streaming source, but yeah, trying to get everyone on the same synchronized level. That's the art form of being live and having different network providers in different countries around the world. But I appreciate that reference. Ryan certainly likes to be live and on time with me. So I imagine looks like those in the UK will be on Sky. Those in the US, really hard to say. That it's quite often on like the USA channel or the what was the other one? Peacock, which was an NBC affiliate that did a lot of online stuff and became their streaming platform. That's what I used to use. Over here, we were using Optus Sport until they seem to have kind of closed ranks and merged with Stan. So that's what I'm watching it on today. And looks like we've got a proud guest from Atlanta getting to do the coin toss. They're doing the what do you call it? Not a bunting, but the little like the little woven crest between Tarkovsky sharing with Bruno. And let's see. Lots of high fives and Tarkovsky wearing the captain's armband today. So refreshing in a way. I did enjoy getting to see others wear the captain's armband, including Ghana Gay, who did score in Everton's last match. Yeah, I think you'll find that Jazz anywhere we travel, especially in the US, well, just worldwide. There's a lot of Everton fans, funny enough, in the Perth area, but just a lot of people from Liverpool in general. But outside of that, I think Man United have a global brand that exceeds. I think David Beckham certainly helped it, but they have a worldwide popularity. I remember growing up in the 90s over in Australia, and everyone knew of United, but Everton, you had to basically know someone that was from Liverpool to get you into it, and that's what happened to me. Looks like we're getting pretty close to kickoff. And yeah, looks like a few birthdays. It's a birthday for me as well today. Got up early for this one, so hopefully they can give us a result. But happy birthday to Kev either for today or tomorrow. The game has kicked off. They gave it back to Pickford. Did a long ball already a bit too heavy, and it's a throw in given away. Oh, sorry, a goal kick already given to United. Yeah. Well, the one positive with hair is it'll always grow back. So maybe we give him an Everton beanie for a little bit. You like that Unreal sponsorship? Wait, there we go. Look at that. Hill Dickinson, just above. They're right there. All right. So we'll go back to the action. I'll try and do some play-by-play here for a bit. So United have it, slowly trying to build up the back. Everton playing a pretty high line and press early, so promising from the build up, and similar to the second half against West Ham, where once we were 4 at the back, we were able to position ourselves higher up the pitch. So United at the moment building up very slowly and deliberately from the back, but Everton are not committing to the player and the ball. They're waiting for that first pass to trigger a turnover. So they did a long. United got a little bit lazy and did a direct ball, but knocked it out straight away, and led to a throw-in. So Everton were able to get it as a throw-in, knocked it back to Tarkowski, who has it with Pickford now, looking for short passing options. Decides to go to Tarkowski, hooves it to his left. Well weighted, and won by Charlie on the first header to Beto. Cuts back to Garner Gay, who gets James Garner, who looks like he's taking the right wing spot. Tried to do a pass back, a bit risky, and Tarkowski took no chances with it. So kicked it hard and heavy and turned it over back to United. So it's a reset with the keeper. So United have it coming up from their left back position again, and decided they didn't like that, so they're switching play to start again. Yeah, don't win for me. If it's my birthday, one of 365 days of the year, we have enough Everton fans. It's always someone's birthday, so let's win it for everybody. I would take a loss if we get 3 new signings, but that's a bigger conversation. No, we did see Adam Aznou, who's going to be on the bench for us today, so at least maybe we get to see the first glimpse of our future left back. That was the Moroccan international, can play on the left wing. Looks like he's had some features on the right wing, and then occasionally can come into the middle, but his natural side on the left. And maybe he can at least be a depth option for us. And maybe if he goes on the right side from time to time, it's an alternate look to what we see with Dwight McNeil. So you've heard it here first. Jazz, the inside scoop of all things Ryan, says we will win this match. We'll win it for Ryan. We'll win it for Jazz. We'll win it for Poppy, but we'll win it for all you in the comments as well. I don't want it sounds way too arrogant to say we'll win it for everyone. We can hardly score goals at the moment. So, but I will say at the start of this match, it hasn't been a whole lot to talk about on the commentary side, but it has been a lot better from high pressing. And Everton almost went in there. They caused a turnover. Tarkowski had a diagonal. A through ball down the Everton's right side in the channel there. Charlie was just offside, testing the likes of a good haircut from Luke Shaw. Looks like a hybrid of what Pickford has and what Pickford had before. And yeah, United have it playing out from the back from Lenny Yoro to, I forget who number 16 is for them. I think that might be Mainu. They're going in short to the inside forward in Mbeumo and having a very quick turnover here. Ahmad on it, knocks it. And that was very close for Everton. Not sure who it was probably Mateus Cunha, number 10. So it was quite interesting getting to see that. We saw Bryan Mbeumo, they on the right side come in short and basically knock it back to Bruno Fernandes, who was a little bit shorter, and led to an overlap with Ahmad and Cunha, who set him up perfectly. And Cunha actually beat Pickford and Tarkowski, but he couldn't beat the back post, so he got it slightly too wide, and O'Brien was there, but if that was hit with a little bit more venom, that was in. Credit to United, that was very good build-up. I'm sure if they did a replay, we could find some defensive frailties from Everton, but United have some world-class players, and all of them were on display on that little moment there. So, okay. Yeah, Keane was ball watching. I am multitasking to get analysis, commentary on the chat, and the game content at once. But yeah, it could well be that he was caught ball watching. But the frank reality is, even if he wasn't caught ball watching, I think if they do that kind of play over and over, Keane will be exposed by lack of foot speed compared to the likes of Ahmad and Cunha and I suppose Mbeumo altogether there, especially with the delivery from Bruno. Yeah, so a big birthday for Kev. So hopefully Yeah, we say we get a result here today, but hopefully you've got a combination of friends, family, and those you want to see on your birthday, giving you all the support you can get. And there's a free kick here coming from James Garner. So Rod Ross hoping for the best from us. It's a fair way out, though. Looks like 28 yards, maybe 30. And he's going to take a strike. Good effort. Oh, no. So great. Too far out to score for James Garner, but he hit it on target. It went over the wall. There was a two-man wall. He does well. It was bouncing low. Jake O'Brien anticipated well from the spillage from the keeper, but did not convert. He hit it first time, went to his lower left side, but he scuffed it ever so slightly with power and venom. He beat the keeper, but it knocked off the post and skimmed out for a throw-in or for a goal kick. So definitely a great chance there from Everton, wasted, but I suppose nothing new there other than, look, we actually had a goal scoring opportunity, and Jake O'Brien, like we saw in the second half when he played at right back, gives us a different look. It may not be the permanent spot we want him there, but he can definitely do a job. And Jazz says she could have scored, and the anticipation was reasonable that we know Ghana can have those deliveries, and that was one of them. The problem now is we need to convert those opportunities, and O'Brien is certainly finding himself in the right spot. So at absolute minimum, it's promising that he was there. And yes, Jake should have scored. Also from our dear leader, please subscribe. We've got over 1,500 of you watching live between all the various socials. It looks like predominantly on X, some on YouTube, and a fat donut on Facebook for the moment. But if you're on Twitter and X, or X, however you like to identify that channel, feel free to come over. I'll keep watching on X, but if you could subscribe and watch on YouTube, it helps the algorithm grow a lot for us, especially for rewatches. When it's live, X grows, but for rewatches of content, it's a lot harder. So if you can jump on YouTube and subscribe, that would be awesome. It also allows you to know before it goes live the content that's coming your way from Follow Everton, so you can plan around us. So Everton have it. It's 8 minutes 30 here. Keenan Tarkowski building up from the back. Again, promising to see. Everton are actually high up in possession, but relatively stagnant for the moment. So it led to them giving it back to Pickford now. So Pickford looking for passing options, doesn't get one. Does a long ball, doesn't reach Njai. It was intercepted by, I think it was Yoro. Couldn't do much with it though, so heads it out of bounds. So we gained a bit of meterage there with a throw in on the left side with Mikalenko on it. Moyes looking frustrated, but not as bemused as that photo that was doing the rounds that was on the artwork for today's thumbnail. But a lot better showing so far. So very happy to see an improved Everton. I think when you hear the likes of we don't have the players we need, this isn't the squad for the starting season, that's a bit of shot across the bow to all the Everton players. And if I was them, I'd be upset, pissed off, and challenged. And we're seeing an improved performance from the Everton players today so far. So a little bit early to say we expect a result, but this is a lot more competitive and better quality so far. Mikalenko has it. Mbeumo's anticipating the pass back, but Pickford improves the passing option for him and cuts off Mbeumo's angle of interception. Leads to a long ball down the left. A little bit of head-in tennis there with Njai winning it to Garner Gay. Has Eric Burnham as a passing option back to Mikalenko. Has Garner short, doesn't take him. Finds Michael Keane a bit deeper as that passing option. James Garner drops in short as well. So he receives it from Keane back to Tarkowski over to James Garner, who pivots now through the middle, and he's free to run through towards Everton's halfway line. Finds Garner Gay in a bit of space, who's shut down though. So it goes back to James Garner. And now we're quite flat-footed through the middle, very stagnant, but looking for passing options and trying to create space. They're switching it wide now through Tarkowski to O'Brien. There's a first time touch, well weighted towards Garner Gay, who has it. Oh, no, that was Charlie. My iPad's just small enough, it's hard to spot all the Everton players until they zoom in. But that was a well-weighted play through the right-hand side, which we haven't seen a whole lot of. Eric Boonham looking sharp. I'd say Charlie and O'Brien on that right side interlinking is also good so far. That was a well-weighted through ball, just a little bit, just slightly too heavy and challenged by the United players. But again, this is the kind of football we're wanting to see, rather than me having to in dribs and drabs talk about positives when we can't make simple passes for 90 minutes in the last match. This is a lot better. Well, relatively high pressing. We're not trying to chase the player on the ball. We're waiting for them to typically release. And in this case, Yoro getting caught out. Eric Boonham almost in. So Eric Boonham caught Lenny Yoro off guard, intercepted, but was chased down by, I think it was DeLitt. But really promising there to see Eric Boonham part of this high press. He's got a lot of energy. He can win battles. And yes, what we are seeing as well is, so we're having a midfield three of Garner Gay, James Garner, and Tim Eric Boonham. Eric Boonham is pivotal to the pressing aspect. So he's playing similar to what you would see with Decore in previous seasons, doing that intercepting and high energy work. And when in possession for Everton, especially building from the back, James Garner dropping short when you have the two centre halves opening up towards sort of the right and left sides, Garner in there to receive the pass. So all positive so far, other than missing this goal scoring opportunity. But hey ho, I'm enjoying this a lot more than I have the previous matches to date. Njai taking on, looks like Mainu on his left, cuts in, almost gets Eric Boonham, but was tied up in knots there. James Garner receives the interception, going to go for a left-footed cross. It was scuffed, but it gets to Eric Boonham, who can't handle it, falls over, and Lenny Yoro does a lot with it. So it's very competitive at the moment. Nice to see the D-bomb dropping. I'm not sure I'm not sure what word you're referencing there, Flash, unless you're referencing Sean D, but I'm not sure I have said his name so far. So a bit of a lazy foul there from Idrissa Gana Gay, had hand over the. Oh, okay. Yeah, the unsigned Malayan international, or Malian. But I will say, although he was a struggle, it was a struggle to watch him at times. He wasn't very important for us, and I think a big part of why he played as much as he did was for the role that we're seeing Tim Eric Boonham occupy right now. Effective, basically playing it in 4-4-2 out of possession, playing high up, and basically helping Beto do a lot of the chasing. So it was it's quite promising, but it's 13 minutes in. Let's see how much he's got in the tank to continue that. A through ball here to Beto. Is he onside? Is it a goal for Everton or is it offside? It looks like by everyone's calculations, Beto timed his run a little bit early. Man United stopped and the flag went up. So we're going to do a little replay here of Beto's run. Yeah, just off. If that was onside, I don't think United were going to get there either. So right idea by Everton. United were playing a very high line and I think got a little bit lucky there. Beto turned his left shoulder a little too early. But appreciate the idea there and playing, exposing that high line from United, because Beto was definitely in there and I think beat the leg speed of Luke Shaw and Matthias de Ligt in that position. United do have it again though, building up quite deep from the back, and Everton chasing, but they were able to get through Everton's press through Charlie, and they're now out wide to the right with Ahmad. An overlapping run not taken. Mateus Cunha takes a strike, was blocked. James Garner in there with Charlie Alcaraz, feeds it through the middle, but it was a bit of a short pass to Beto, couldn't do enough with it, causing a turnover. So it's back to United. Bruno has it out on the right, looking for options, doesn't like what he sees. Does a little quick 1-2 with Mainu, and they get a start again with Lenny Yoro back to Mainu, but very stagnant through the middle here, but not able to break Everton's structure down. Ahmad is out in the right, taking on Njai. Doesn't do much with it, though, so starts again with a little pass to Bruno and back to Mainu. So they're on Everton's left side or United's right, not able to get through that defensive setup there, so credit to Everton. They're resetting and going to try on United's left. Everton's right now. They're going to go out wide right to the overlapping fullback. Can't read who it is at the moment. The little pass back and another switch of play. So Everton's shutting down all of United's wide passing lanes in their back five setup. Lenny Yora has it again now, looking for a way to cut through. He's looking for short options and goes with Bruno, but he was shut down. But Bruno did well to handle that. Took on 2 Everton players and got it back to between Mainu and Ahmad. They were able to hold on to it, and then they try a nice through ball through the middle, and nothing given. And I might add a score update as well. So 0-0. So why don't I update make a little banner for Everton 0, Man United 0. I forgot that usually what I would like to do is have this going up in SofaScore, but SofaScore is not really doing a whole lot to update the preseason matches. So at the moment it's Everton 0, Man United 0. There've been 2 good scoring chances, and one is coming in right now from Amad Diallo. Does he score? Does he take on the? Oh, they call a penalty. Tarkovsky pleading his innocence. I'm not sure there was much of a penalty in that, but I think they were calling hands and arm contact there. So looks like no matter. So they're showing a replay here. Bruno was queued up with Mbeumo, and then you had Ahmad on the right side. Tries to go by Tarkovsky. That is the weakest penalty I think I've ever seen. So Ahmad tries to take on Tarkovsky. He pushes Tarkovsky to get a bit of leverage. Tarky has his hand, yes, on Ahmad, but it wasn't extensive contact. It was pushing him on his shoulder, but it wasn't two-handed. It was, other than Tarkovsky being physically stronger, there was almost nothing in that. I think we can either call it cheat bags. You can say he fell over too easy. That was a soft penalty. It shouldn't be given. But guess what? It was. And United need wins, because otherwise their fan base won't be very happy with them not winning a trophy, even if it's a pre-season one. Anyway, at the moment, it's going to be Bruno Fernandes taking on Pickford. Bruno's quite good in the penalty spot, so we'll see how this goes. He comes in, does his stutter step, and easy goal. Pickford aimed left. Bruno waited longer, and he went to his left, and it was an easy goal for United. So unfortunately, I hate to say it or hate to see it, because that was really against the flow of the game. I will say, though, that United built. We'll have to go back and see from the build-up what led to Tarkovsky feeling isolated there, but that was it was a dangerous goal-scoring opportunity, but that was certainly no penalty, and Everton were ripped off comfortably. Well, as a keeper, the goal is to distract the striker with a good haircut, right? Or is it a bad haircut? I can't remember. You know, we were talking about birthday presents, and that really wasn't what I was looking for. All right. Well, I guess we'll go back to the and that can be fair, Gavin. He's certainly losing a touch of pace, and that's a challenge for Everton now when we want to do the high press, having the likes of Keenan, Tarkovsky there, because they don't have the leg speed. So once Branthwaite's back, you can afford to basically not have Tarkovsky in that position. But the reality is Tarkovsky did everything right there. That was just a poor decision from the referee to give that away. There's always a chance. With a forever optimist, I think what we've noticed is Tyler Diblin has been. I mean, I don't think he can be the future without the promise of being the everyday starter right now. But that's the main conversation we're hearing, but not across the line formally. So another through ball, but to Tarkovsky's credit, was able to handle the leg race with Bryan Mbeumo and got there first. And it's set up back with Pickford and gets it to O'Brien, so building up the Everton's right here. A short one to Charlie, but not too much else there for him. So starting again with Tarkowski. Everton trying to build up from the back, so at least promising that we're not just hoofing it for the moment. Pickford sees the passing option with Garner Gay short and does a little 1-2 with looks like O'Brien maybe, and goes to Beto, shielding through the middle. Charlie Alcaraz makes an effort there. James Garner does well to win the ball back, and now it's out wide on Everton's left with Mikalenko. He has Njai on his left. Does he use him? Does he use him? Yes, he does. Doesn't go first time. Cuts back into his right. Njai strikes, but it was blocked. So it's going to be a corner for Everton. Well, we can talk about his tackling, but right now he's about to take Everton's corner. It looks like it's going to be a short in-swinger off his right foot there, but he reaches the back post and it's tipped by the keeper, and Bryan Mbeumo gets to it but can't win the foot race. Mikalenko had it covered, and it's going to start again. Yeah, credit to those in the UK. This is certainly late for you guys. Guess you get to know what it's like being either an American or primarily an Australian trying to wake up early for evening content. It's very common for us in Perth area, West Australia, to get up at 2:30 for the night games. So Everton strike was a little heavy there, was from well back, and now they're showing a lot of people in the crowd. No shock, they're mostly United fans looking like having a good time, having some cervezas, some Earl, some beer, and having a good time taking selfies. I'm not sure who they're zooming in on there, but just one of the guys holding onto the ball, not wanting to give it back, and eventually giving it back to the crowd, giving it back to the security agents who looked less than impressed with the guy holding the ball. It was a long ball, but out to Everton. Tarkowski winning the header, but I think the energy certainly seems sapped from the Everton squad ever since that goal. Diego Dallo looks like he's sitting there on wide left for United. Looks like Tarky cut down. Was it Bruno there in the middle? Bruno wanting to induce a yellow card and a friendly, but didn't look like there was enough in that to constitute a yellow. Yeah, but that is the challenge, Rod Ross, that it's quite tough for us. Us around the world trying to watch content. When I visited Europe at the start of last season, it was quite strange to be able to go out to dinner and check the score of the football. That just doesn't happen when you live in the US. You basically either get up early, or if you're in the East Coast, it's around lunchtime for all your games on a Saturday or Sunday, unless it's a nighttime game, and then it's early afternoon. So it's always tough to kind of squeeze in through work. And for Aussies, it's almost certainly the early game is like 8 at night, or typically somewhere around midnight to 2 a.m. So there's a free kick for Man United here. Looks like Bryan Mbeumo may take it on United's left. So the Everton line is set up just inside the 18-yard box. Going to the front post, didn't do enough with it. Didn't beat Charlie as the first man, so credit to Everton there. Tarkowski tries to clear, but it's reset back to United, who are trying to play it through the middle here. Everton chasing, but a little bit slow. Ahmad on the right, cuts in, takes on two, falls over very easily, but doesn't win the foul. Falls over again and does win the foul. There was very limited contact there. He was doing pirouettes and spins. Yeah, it looked good from a pace perspective. James Garner looking like he did the foul and not being impressed with what was given. They're going to show the contact. Yeah, Ahmad was just... very weak foul. Basically, Garner looks like he kind of came from behind on the right side, got his foot in, and Ahmad kept falling over trying to win fouls and got away with it. He's diving all over the place, and I think getting rewarded way too often by this referee that's not putting his foot down and just letting the falling player win the foul. Yep, the diving's getting quite embarrassing, and at some point, I'm sure he'll get all sorts of flack on social media for it. But for right now, the results are in, and he's getting the results, huh? So quite frustrating. It's another free kick for Man United, unearned, but hey ho, it's on their right side. So Mbeumo looks like he's going to strike it on his left foot. So it'd be an in-swinging free kick. Goes to Pickford's left, who gets his hand to it, knocks it high and wide away from the goal, but not out of bounds. So Euro and Mbeumo trying to build up through the middle there. Euro falls over, thinking if James Garner is near the ball, it's a free kick to United, but nothing given because it wasn't Ahmad on the ball. So it's good reset through United. Bruno starts again, gives it to Mateus de Ligt, and it looks like Kobe Mainu has it now on deep on their right side and starting again. But yeah, the amount of times United players are falling over quite easily is rather frustrating. So Flash, I would say at the moment, if you're going to say who's going to be on the starting 11, I would imagine Harrison Armstrong is a bench option, and Charlie Alcaraz has actually come in and done okay on the right side. We've seen moments on here in Burmo blocks. All right, we're gonna have to do a recap of that. Sorry. So Bryan Mbeumo was coming in, took a strike, it was blocked, and it opened up the play again, and Everton do just enough. So they're showing here. Bruno comes in, takes a strike. It was a bit of a loose ball from Pickford, who couldn't do much with it. And Mbeumo tries the second bite at the cherry, but it was blocked by a mixture, primarily from Tarkovsky. But the keeper did just enough. But that was scary. Yeah, well, if you're struggling with the commentary from Sky, I'm glad you're listening to the casual, what do you call it? The casual content from an Australian YouTuber here at 5:30 in the morning. Cheers to you. Um, so yeah, that was people are very excited for these big names for United to put United back in their place at the top of the football pyramid. I'm quite happy for them not to do well. Personally, I think I quite enjoy their lack of success. It's the tall poppy syndrome, getting them back in their place a little bit. But look, they're good players that they've been bringing up. Beto has it on Everton's left channel, but he stops, tries to restart again, but gets caught out of place. Looks a bit leggy, and Lenny Yoro did well to take that on. He builds up with Mbeumo, and Jai, though, takes it off him. And Mbeumo tackles well to get the ball back. And it's now back with United in the middle. So a bit of a scramble there, but with quite a few turnovers between Njai and Mbeumo, but eventually back in United's hands. So for a little while, Gavin, I was quite excited by the off-ball movement, a lot of chasing and pressing, but very quickly Everton's a goal to be a shell of their aggressive selves, and this is the exact time you should be demanding the opposite, because the goal that was scored was not due to poor Everton tactics. You could say that Everton were caught out by being leggy, but it wasn't really the high line that was the cause of it. It was more just because Tarkovsky handled it. It was solely the player fell over and won the free kick. So to me, they've fallen back within themselves. Instead of playing high, they're giving away possession, looking leggy and flat-footed, instead of having Tim Bunham primarily as that sort of key cog in the press. So forgot to add the comments in, so they'll kick off here on the screen now. Beto did well there to keep the ball in, chasing Lenny Yoro and winning a throw in with Eric Burnham. So he's still winning some tackles there, which is promising. Just the energy looks very sapped the second Everton concede. Mikolenko goes to Ghana Gay, got caught out trying to do a quick ball. Cunha now has it out wide to the left. Looks like Dallo may have it. Finds Luke Shaw. Looks like Bruno is going to do a diagonal ball there, but heavy and overhit. Looks like offside is the call. Not sure if you're referencing Adam Aznou or not, but he is at least on the subs bench, and he's been with the squad now for what, like 5 days. So I imagine he'll certainly be involved. But if you're understanding the systems and the setup of the squad, it wouldn't shock me that he needs to earn his way into the squad a little bit before coming straight in. Njai looking frustrated with turnovers very quickly now. Everton just seemed to, and it's funny. I don't think United have mastered Everton by any means, but I think Everton are in their own heads. The second we're another again, the second we go a goal down, the midfield, the passing, the cohesiveness, the off the ball runs have really kind of shut down. But no shock to those that have watched any of the content this season. Or any of the matches. There's a lack of off the ball running a lot, but I'll give credit to Beto who did that bit of running right now. He's teamed up with Eric Boonham, has Charlie in the middle, doesn't take him, cuts out wide right, does a cross, but that was too heavy, but still in Everton's hands with Mikolenko. Goes for the cross, can't do enough with it, and it gets blocked. And Bryan Mbeumo is coming through the middle now, taking on looks like 4 Everton players between Charlie, James Garner, and Ghana Gay, causing him to retreat and start again further deep. So it's on the left side and Mbeumo playing. And instead of Beto being able to come through, it was a bit of a arm wrestling with Shaw, and well, led to a throw in. Yep. Very much that way. There's rare moments that Beto is linking up with Eric Boonham, but we want to have Charlie receiving some of these through balls as well. We were seeing that in the first 10 to 15 minutes, and it seems to have gone away. But almost immediately after that goal, heads dropped. But give credit to Everton. We had an attacking play right here, led to a corner. So it's going to be an outswinging ball from James Garner now. So it's going to be quite high and deep towards Tarkovsky, who can't beat the second man there to get to it. And Jai wins the ball back, though, goes to Mikolenko short, finds Ghana Gay, who leaves it for Jake O'Brien now, I think, James Garner, sorry. Beto was almost in there, but well blocked by United, and they have a United player down. Looks like not Diallo. Dallo, not Diallo. Sorry. Looks like they're going to probably zoom in on this, but it looks like his shin may have got hurt. So James Garner was the one that did the short cross in. Beto did a pirouette, goes to strike the ball. Dallo gets in there first, and Beto, while turning, is trying to strike on target, hitting the ball, but instead didn't see that Dallo got there, and instead of kicking the ball, he got Dallo's the side of his knee. So looked quite painful. I think the challenge, Ryan, was his back was turned when he was receiving, so he was trying to basically touch it once on a pirouette to strike, and I think he did the right thing on the way he was faced up. It was just unfortunate that it was well anticipated by Dallo. I think this from football's army. I think that really does describe what we're seeing too. You can say pace and energy. I think a lot of the Everton squad haven't had that line breaking pace. Occasionally, you see it with Beto when he's well timed on his runs. Element and Jai as well. But outside of those two, or sometimes Jesper Lindstrom when he was with us last season, we don't have the pace to break the lines. Sometimes you saw it with Charlie as well. He hasn't done enough of that this season, and the other reality is we're just feels really flat. And I think the word energy really comes to mind. If you do have a chance to see that, we were, how do I best describe that? We had energy, we were pressing high, we were winning turnovers, we were inspired, and we had about 10 minutes of that energy, and it's just gone flat now. Bruno building it up from United, trying to do a switch of play to find Ahmad, but too heavy for him, and he couldn't dive onto the ball to win a free kick, so it's going to be a throw in. To, to follow up from what Ryan's saying, we have quite a lot of you watching on Twitter. So if you'd like, or we would strongly be appreciative if you could jump on to YouTube just to press the subscribe button and jump back on and watch your content from your preferred streaming source. Hopefully it's not us as commentators. I imagine, Joey, you're referencing the Sky Sports. From previous comments here in the chat, there's been a lot of Man United fan service, or the incoming Mbeumo is going to shatter the stratosphere with his chrome dome of magnificence. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's the kind of content you're hearing on other sources. The scary part, Gavin, is he's still by our strongest midfielder overall. He's got his wits about him. I think similar to a Coleman, I think he could be a squad player that doesn't play at all, and we would actually be okay having him in that role as a mentor. What's a turnover? In the US, a turnover is just simply, it's more football related, or like NFL related. But whoever has possession, it goes to the other squad or the other side. Do you guys not call it turnover in England when like Everton have the ball and they lose it, or do you just say they lost the ball? That seems so basic. And usually Apple Flash. Oh, sorry, that thought you were responding to me, but there's probably Flash the original in the chat. All right, so Everton have it through the Beto, a really good one-touch ball there, but his delivery to Charlie was a little bit too heavy, who did all the running, and threw his hands up in the air immediately. Yeah, I get you. Charlie's having, well, and that's the thing. I'm not sure if you saw the build-up play I just saw too. It was a really good through ball from James Garner, finds Beto. Charlie's there running, and while Beto's shielding, he tries to knock it to Charlie. But when you're running full speed right next to someone in the channel, you can't overhit the ball. And Charlie basically is running, and it was overhit, and he can't get to it. So he's doing the running to try and do the creative opportunity, and it's just not. The link up play is not working with Beto at the moment. All right, so Drissagana Gay has it on the right. Going to be a first time cross, but a little bit too short and well read by United. But James got, no, that was Mikalenko. Oh, Everton are in for a goal. It's 1-0. Wow, was not expecting that out of the blue. Iliman and Jai back post, and Everton are back in this, ladies and gentlemen, and those that don't identify as ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, it's 1-0 to everyone, to all Everton fans and any United fans that are listening as well. It is now 1-0. So this is all credit to Vitaly Mikalenko with an excellent tackle, an interception when United looked away through the middle. He intercepted. He knocked it straight to Idrissa Gana Gueye, who does a back post cross, and it was hit first time on Iliman and Jai's left foot, and he's doing his little finger wag of, "Yep, I got you, mate." And I'm gonna say I was not expecting that, and it was Iliman and Jai, Kevin. So it was built up with Vitaly Mikalenko having a really clever, adept tackle, and feeding it to Gana Gueye on the right side of our box, and he does a short cross to the back post, finding Njai in loads of space and knocks it first time on his left foot on his instep. and it leads to Everton 1, Man United 1. I can add minutes to the goals as well, but I think for now, at least we have an updated ticker with 1-1. And it's 41 minutes and 5 seconds here. That's going on your shirt. I don't know if the green screen has it, but I'm wearing my Enjoy shirt as well. Well, when I can, I'll do my watch-alongs to provide alternate commentary from those that are looking for it. It does take away from me being able to watch the game live when watching off an iPad and talking to myself for 2 hours, but happy to do it and happy to help grow the channel this way. And now we're at just under 4,000 viewers, so live, so that's excellent. A lot of them come in through X, as we said before, nearly 3,800 of you on X, so feel free to jump over just to help us from a subscriber basis and stick right on X. But if you can jump on YouTube very quickly just to support our channel through a subscription, that would be awesome. But we are at 42 minutes here, and it is 1-1 after a great goal from Iliman Ndiaye. Everton nearly having another goal scoring opportunity there with Tarkovsky challenging at the front post and it coming right on the head of O'Brien. And he's trying to turn left and knock it into the front post and just missing again. So it's promising, yet frustrating that we've seen a couple now chances for Jake O'Brien to score. But you know what? A centre half playing at right back and getting himself into goal scoring opportunities at absolute minimum. He's doing that, and he's got the defensive contributions to boot. Everton looking a lot better now. The tails are up. Eric Boonham teaming up with James Garner, who was out on the left side, and it was a slightly heavy cross, but still the right idea there. Man United trying to build up from the back, well pressed. Bruno doing a beautifully weighted ball to not Ahmad, what's his name? Yeah, Ahmad Diallo. But he didn't do much with it. So basically, Bruno's showing his touch of class, and the rest of the United squad are actually looking gassed. And I think a lot of it is the mentality again. So the second Everton score, all of a sudden, the Everton play is notably up. And look, Everton are looking back in this, very much the case that Everton looking the better squad right now coming into halftime. So long balls are now being won by Everton. Beto doing a good job holding up play. An overlapping run here by O'Brien, teed up by I'm blanking on the names now, sorry. James Garner has it in the back post all the same. Comes in for another cross, but too heavy to Beto. So Garner Gay was the one teeing up with O'Brien on that side. So O'Brien's playing high, doing good crossing, but James Garner got caught out with a poor cross in the back post when he was there. Yeah, United are not looking great at the moment, looking quite devoid of answers to the middle, quite flat-footed. And Everton again now playing higher up the pitch and chasing. And Garner Gay trying to cause a turnover. And who's that on the ground? I don't know that guy. Ugarte falling on the ground looking upset when he got contact. But in all honesty, there was not much in that at all. So Garner Gay doing a good job making the United midfielders uncomfortable there. And when they get uncomfortable, they fall to the ground hoping for a free kick. And they got one. Oh, with Mr. Lasso, yeah. All right. United have it by Everton's left corner flag. Everton look to have this all under wraps, but United have got Mbeumo short, trying to pass us through, taking a shot from outside the box, but handled comfortably by Pickford. 1 minute of extra time, and we have the One Direction haircut of... So they're showing the shot here from Ugarte towards Pickford. Pickford had it comfortably under control. But not enough pace on that where he would have to punch it away. So we've got probably about 30 seconds till halftime. Yeah, late night pizza run, is it? I can no judging here. I did that last night myself. It wasn't late night though. I got a nice oven one ready for the shop from the shops. Lenny Yoro has it on Man United's right touchline, looking for passing options from his throw-in. Doesn't have much, so goes long. The flick on was won by Cunha, but the result led to Michael Keane having it, going to Tarkovsky, and its whistle is blown for half time. So I'm going to go get myself another coffee, seeing as it's now almost bright enough to see sun outside at 5:45 my time. But what it means, it is 1-1. It is halftime. Iliman Ndiaye has brought Everton back into this after a excellent interception by Mikolenko, passing over to Idrissa Gana Gueye, whose well-weighted cross the back post was excellently finished by Ndiaye. And it's 1-1. The goal for United, for those that were watching before, or weren't watching before, was due to a foul that was a very weak piece of contact where Ahmed Diallo falls over in the box from a Tarkovsky contact. And, well, they gave a penalty, and it was taken by Bruno. Anyway, I'll see you all back here shortly. Sorry, I was muted. Let's start that again. So welcome back. It is halftime. So got myself a early morning coffee. Still no no sun out here on the west coast of Australia. Imagine it's going to be quite late for those in the UK. Um, the challenge that we're going to have when it comes to watch-alongs, or unless someone's actually live at a stadium or listening all on the same broadcast, is we're going to be competing with different times. Um, it unfortunately I can't. I can go backwards in time, but the further back I go in my content, the more likely that my reactions are also spoiled from those in the comments. And as I go along, I try to give a timestamp to where I'm at. Unfortunately, what that often leads to is someone's ahead of me, some people are behind me, and my reactions are going to be trying to be genuine to what I'm seeing on screen. Sometimes people will be ahead of me and excited in the comments saying goal or what have you, and that's all fine and well and good. But that you are going to run into scenarios where results may get spoilt by somebody. From my side, I do my best to keep tabs on the comments, and I react by what I see on my screen. Because sometimes you'll get some people who really enjoy doing fake goals or fake reactions to see if you get people reacting. So I tell myself everything in the comments are fake until it's onto my screen, and in that case, you're all good. Um, and I changed my mindset to basically until I see it in the screen, it didn't happen, even if I see that likely as a result on the in the comments there. Anyway, what we do have is quite an exciting second half likely to come on. So we have there's a few goal scoring opportunities in the first half, and Everton converted their goal in 39 minutes. But the first real chance for Everton was with Jake O'Brien, who missed his opportunity. And very quickly after that, there was a play through the middle. I think it was a combination of Bruno Fernandes, Mateus Cunha, Bryan Mbeumo were all having effective runs through the middle. And in this case, Amad Diallo was part of one of these darting runs. It was on Everton's left defensive side. Tarkovsky was chasing Diallo down. He looked like he had him well under control, had a little bit of contact with his shoulder, and he fell down like a ton of bricks. Looked very weak on the slow replay, but it was that was given. And yeah, David B. long sleeve. I try to mix it up. Sometimes long sleeve, sometimes short sleeve. Then you have different looks. So also means if it's a little bit cold here in winter, I don't have to put a hoodie on. I can just wear the shirt. So yeah, long sleeve for me it is. I didn't have any long sleeved first team shirts, so I guess I look closest to Lindstrom from last season. I don't know. But yeah, so the first goal was from Bruno Fernandes, a penalty, and right around there, Everton's head dropped. It's been a common occurrence I've found. Everton have a lot of energy at the very beginning, high pressing, causing turnovers, and then the heads drop when a goal is scored. They slowly built themselves back into the game, which was highlighted particularly by the goal that was scored. It basically came from nothing. It was a transitional moment through the midfield. I think it may have been Bryan Mbeumo actually got his pocket picked by Mikalenko right off a set piece that United had won, and basically by picking his pocket, and he cut in on his left and left the ball for Garnegay, who was standing right next to him, goes to the back post, and it was slotted by Iliman Ndiaye. And then there was a couple more opportunities for Everton, and I think the main one was coming from who was it again? O'Brien. So basically, it was a short corner. Tarkovsky wins the first header while taking on two, and it led. It was right behind him. We had a front post heading opportunity for O'Brien and didn't score it. So unfortunately, I think that's what we're dealing with now. Is we have O'Brien making an influence, but he's not converting those opportunities. But then again, it's promising that we're at least getting the goal scoring opportunities with him in that position. Patterson has had when he was in that right back spot, you saw a couple chances where he could have come in and influenced things, but he hasn't scored either. But he's also a defensive liability. What I'm going to quickly throw up here is the subs. So we've got Travis as a keeper option as well as Harry Trier. And then we have, what was it, Dwight McNeil, among others. So hopefully we get to see some of these. I highly doubt we see 2 goalkeeper subs, but hey ho, maybe we get surprised. We have the winger option in Clark. Onyango has been the centre half option. We've got Heath, who's been coming in on the left wing for a few times. We have our newest signing in Aznou, as well as Barry Chimiti, who came on in the left wing position, which was a bit odd, and he didn't do too well on the last match. But it'll be exciting to see him again. And Armstrong, who's had those in the chat will have, I'm sure, your own opinions on him. I think he was a little underwhelming in the last match, but he was very influential in the first 15 minutes and then became quite anonymous. He was started at right wing, went to central midfield, and just seemed to get overrun there. If I look at some of the messages, this is a really tricky one because I don't know what squad Everton will have. If we get the squad that we need, and sorry if I'm looking away, I'm just charging my iPad for the second half here. If we get another three players or so, I think we really need at minimum a right back, and a right winger would be nice as well. And I think we need one more central midfielder. Then I think we're talking. Oh, yeah, you can of course claim Europe, but I don't think we have the squad depth. But then again, a lot of the teams that we'd be competing against, maybe they're going to go down a peg because they don't have the squad depth for Europe. But I would say we probably end up, my guess is 12th. We could certainly go higher, but I think we could comfortably go lower based on the current squad we have and the challenges that we've been hearing all week on bringing players in, and Moyes' frustration that's now becoming public. Yeah, we need a miracle. We've needed miracles for a few seasons and pulling that off. So, where do you think we come, gas pipe? Christmas in August? Yeah, and this is part of the problem too. So the likes of Rasmus, who you can see he has excellent, like great aspects to him, but it really wasn't working for him last year, and he wasn't scoring for them, and lacking confidence. And United trying to move someone for 30 mil. Yeah, that's the thing. If you have a striker that isn't scoring goals for 30 million, then how affordable is anyone on the market? And then Garnacho for 40 million. Well, I think Everton and United have had quite a few player swaps over the seasons, as we know. One of our regulars, hello Becky, doesn't think he's worth that, and I think that's fair to say. I would rather spend 30. Oh, that's a bit maybe a hot take, but I'd rather 30 mil on Tyler Dibbling than I would on Rasmus right now. Maybe that'll change based on form in future years, but I think we need a right winger more so than we need a striker right now. We can have 4 strikers, and no one has the ability to deliver the ball to them, and that doesn't help us. And you'd have to think Tyler Dibbling would be at least someone that will develop into that role for us. What I'm worried about though is we need players right now. Oh, interesting. Well, maybe that substitution makes sense to rest him up. Well, gas pipe. Um, it's sad pragmatism. I can aim for higher, but I'm giving you a yellow card until you tell me where you think they should end up. All right. iPad set up for the second half. Yeah, no, 12th is ambitious, for sure. I think that's the thing. You're trying to forecast the future based on what you have right now with information that we're not privy to on the expectations of the club. I guess is someone smoking a gas pipe to think we're first? I would love it. Well, we'll talk about extremes. Maybe Becky and Gaspipe can combine their efforts, and they will come up with about 12th, and that's where I would. And I think this is really where I'd like to see us. But if we don't get the squad depth, and let's say we have African Cup of Nations coming up this year, so we will lose Ilman and Jai and Adrisagana Gay at some point. So if we lose those two and don't have the depth to cover through the tough part of the season around, what was it, like January, that's going to be really tough. So if we don't have the depth to cover, we could be 8th and then have a really tough winter. And all of a sudden drop down to 14th and then come back strong and be in the mid-table again. All right, so the second half has started again. Tarkovsky has it. He's building up with Ghana Gay through the middle. O'Brien's playing an advanced role on the right side, creating options. And Beto might be in on goal here. No. So Tarkovsky did a direct ball to Beto, who takes on his chest, has a lovely turn, and tries to strike in on goal, but United do just enough. So what I was noticing and got distracted on right there. So Lenny Yora did just enough to take down Beto, but that was actually quite good from Beto. Takes it a deft touch on his chest, touches on it off his right foot, bypasses to Lit, but he couldn't get past Yoro. But what we're also seeing is, so Dorgu's coming on for Bryan Mbeumo, by the way, and it's going to be a corner for Everton. 2 hands up. Going to the back post. Michael Keane trying to take a strike, but getting blocked by Luke Shaw, so it's going to be another corner. Our fearless leader encouraging subscriptions. So if you would like to do so, we'll be very happy to have you on board. James Garner with another corner kick. It's going to be an in-swinger. Going to the back post. The keeper does not do enough with it. Garner Gay gets there first. Quick draw pass to the middle. Poorly handled by... Oh, Everton, no! How did we miss that? Must have been offside. Yep, offside was the call. But yeah, irrespective of that, he didn't score anyway, so the composure wasn't there. There are times last season that we really saw Beto get in his stride and not in his head, but that was a poor clearance from United. And then I think it was Tarkovsky there won the header, but Michael Keane and Beto were not able to get goal side and weren't not anticipating Tarky to win that. It got to Keane. He was offside, took a touch, struck it. It was blocked by the keeper, and then Beto missed the subsequent chance. So you know what? That was a good practice. Now when it's onside, we'll know exactly what to do next time, right? But yeah, lacking that composure for sure. Anyway, I think that it looks like Joe and Joey, you can maybe they do another replay, but they look both offside to me, so I'm not sure it would have mattered. So United are looking rattled, still committed to building up from the back, which they are doing, but causing turnovers. James Garner did a good job winning the turnover there, but wasn't able to win a second ball after running. So it looks like I may have a friend and colleague joining here in a moment, but until then, it'll just be me talking. We've got, what's that guy's name on the left side for United, number 13, taking on O'Brien, who finds Bruno. All right, Eric Bruno now with Charlie. Just couldn't get out there. If that Everton players fall over, no foul. United foul every time. But James Garner trying to battle through in the middle there, doing just enough to win there. Charlie getting quite physical with a few shoulders. So it's getting a little bit tasty in the midfield there. Quite competitive, and no one be able to break through. Quite a tough scramble. Hello, Jan. Welcome.
Hello, Chris. How are you?
Fantastic. We aren't losing.
We're not. I genuinely, I thought it was Saturday today. I've had a right mare of a day. Or Sunday or Monday. It wasn't Sunday.
That's how midnight. Well, that's what happens with midnight, Jan.
Maybe it was me looking at the phone because I was in the group chat the other day, and nobody cares about my drama. We were 1 down when I left where I was to go, oh crap, football, and now it's 1-1.
Yeah. So every time you look away, the results get worse. Is that what you're telling me?
No. It's getting better. My presence being drawn to the match. That's the positive. Right. Yandalf the Grey. Yes, well, I am getting grey with Everton. But look, we've scored a goal. We've scored a goal. Okay.
Yeah.
Can you tell me about it?
Sure. I can repeat. I felt like I've repeated this to the channel here, but basically what happened, it was there was a corner kick for Everton. They lost it. And United were kind of charging through. Mikalenko was quite adept. He was running back into position, and he tackled, I think it was Mbeumo, and nicked the ball off him. Garner Gay is standing right next to him and says, "I'll have that," and he does across the back post and spots Njai, who insteps off his left and knocks it to the bottom corner. So it was an actual Premier League standard strike. For Everton, that's a rare one. But it's our best players scoring.
I've already noticed within a few minutes. I haven't had a chance to check the minute by minute or the minute by Chris account of the game. But I'm wondering if the penalty was like I've already noticed in the last 5 minutes, which is, oh my goodness, there's a human being here. Fall over.
Yep. Foul.
Is that it?
Contact. It was a very and Tarkovsky. I'm not going to say he's always innocent. He's not. They call it. What do they call the Burnley ball again? They said it was like Brexit ball or something. Or like it was quite physical back in the day. So he is notorious for doing some dumb stuff, and he's thrown people to the ground to give away obvious penalties. This wasn't one of them. There was a slight bit of contact on the shoulder in a physical sport, and the player fell over. So Ahmad was basically. I'm trying to think. There've been a few times where United players, especially Garnacho, who's pacey, he looks dangerous. He falls over, but he starts to fall over so often that you wonder, is he just trying to you're just conning the referee? If you do it once in a while, it works and it's reasonable. And it was just too often for me. Yeah. And it was quite obvious, and he just kept falling to the ground, and it was tiresome.
I can understand when players don't get a free kick. As Mikalenko, he's down on the ground now, he's getting some treatment. I can understand when players don't get the protection from a referee when they are physically forced off the ball and there's no attempt to play it and they're just barged off and they fall and they have to fall over to raise the question, because sometimes they don't. Hey guys, didn't really introduce myself properly, just dived right into it, much like the Man United players this evening.
All right, continue again.
But if you don't give the referee something to question, but the whole point is now it's become this game of I find it rather disingenuous that these apparent lifetime career professional athletes that are strong and tough and the best of the best and pushing every edge can hold off 3-4 men at the corner pitch.
And then physical specimen. I fell over. Yeah. They keep getting sniped and fall into the ground. Do you not use that expression in the UK where like someone just seems to fall out of nowhere and you say they got sniped?
Oh yeah, a little bit. Yeah, I get you, sniped. What?
Oh. So I'm at 54 minutes. I'm probably a bit ahead of you.
I'm at 53 something. I don't know.
Okay, so I might try and go back a minute or two, or like let's say 30 So I'm at 53 minutes and 40 seconds now. Is that closer?
Oh, it's closer, yeah. Yeah.
So do you see a free kick for James Garner?
No, I see Garner on the left. And
Okay,
it's being
because
passed inside to Njai, who's cut inside. Idrissa Gana Gay was static as a linchpin at the back. It's gone forward to Irabunum, who's played it left, right to Garner. Left wings, just trying to find an avenue, pull players out. And Njai's got a free kick there about
so
35 yards out.
all right, so you're behind me, but I'm trying to match you now since my content's further ahead. So you're at about 53 minutes and 50 now? Does that sound right?
Yes. Thank you very
Okay.
much. That is, I have multiple internet things and I've got a VPN, so it really kind of.
Yeah, but you don't have a tinfoil hat on. You just have VPNs and
No,
antennas.
it's because I've got CCTV cameras in place. Oh, nobody cares about what I'm doing. Like,
But you're a celebrity. You're Gandalf the Black today with a polo shirt.
you know what? I would like to point out if there is a bit of a lull in the game and it's the lack of concentration. United have got the ball. Some people are a little bit there. Hey, Kevin. Hey, everyone. But I would like to point out. Yes, a little bit. I felt I was made to feel like a little bit of a celebrity because for the Blues watching regularly go the game or come to some games or make it a couple of times a year or just drop people off like to be part of it. I was invited on Friday night to the grand opening of the Terrace Bar on 69 Regent Road, right opposite Bramley Moor, close to the away end, but there's a whole strip there, and it was pretty banging night. So shout
Are
out
United
to
in
Bernie
on
and the
goal?
guys there. They possibly are, yes.
Oh, was that a
It stole it. Cutting inside.
Wow. James
Oh,
Garner's long sleeves were not a handball. That looked very, very close to a penalty
it's
shout.
he fell on the floor. His hand was supporting him. The ball was kicked at his hand as it was on the floor, supporting his weight.
But this is
What do you
United.
expect the
We
guy to
got,
do?
knowing United's expectation of a cheap penalty, they got away with one.
We did get away with it in as much as the ball was stolen off the left, and we were very slow to recover. Was it O'Brien? It was just
Yeah, I think
poached,
so.
but yeah. But given
But when
VAR in a
someone,
penalty,
because
that would have been
his
VAR in the
hand was in the
Premier League.
ground and it hit his arm, so technically it hit his hand. But I've seen most of the time I'd rather them not given. So,
Yeah, but
but it's
yeah, I know.
United, so you feel like the world's against you, and we got away with one because that's the expectation that bad luck will hit us. So
The point being, they've changed the soft interpretation of rules so much now. I mean, it's interesting to know the time wasting that they're trying to drive this. Oh, football, get on with the football, but they don't
yeah,
care about it. They don't really care about the quality of the football when it's things like, you know, like I say, the fact that you can have a player shielding the ball to waste time having not played it at all. Now, the whole point is you can use your body as a defensive thing in an attempt to play the ball. That is what
yep.
I just forget it.
Well, that's not what Tarkovsky was punished for. Anyway,
No,
Mainu,
but I'm just
Shaw,
saying
and Euro
generally.
are coming off for
Yes,
Harry Maguire
which could be a
and
good thing.
Mason Mount. And I'm not sure who number 20.
8,
What's his
27,
name?
28, 26.
Somebody Heaven. With a nice flow of dreads. Have you ever tried dreads yet?
I
Or cornrows?
well, my hair naturally does dread genuinely because of, like it
Y-
goes wavy and
Yeah.
like, I've been doing
I
some
could see you
modeling
in the
lately. Like I go,
Caribbean looking like Steven Pienaar. That's really where I'm getting at.
it doesn't matter. Mainu's come off, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I am considering getting my hair dreaded properly because it does naturally if I don't brush it every fucking day.
Yeah.
It goes into little ringlets and I get like hundreds of them, little things that just bleh.
Yeah, the comments were on your shoulder, so I decided I would relieve you of the comments.
Hmm.
I'll sneak him back on
Oh,
later, but it was just
Kevin's birthday tomorrow, by the way. Can we give a shout? Oh no!
Okay, well, that was odd. I think Yan may have dropped something there, so he'll maybe come back in a moment. But it looks like his tech may have got hit. So hopefully he's not a he hasn't been assassinated at home. So they're showing this build-up play here where Charlie Alcaraz does a 1-2, and then Beto basically got in the way, claiming he needed the passing option, but Charlie realizing, hey, that should be me. Okay, you're alive.
What did you see?
Oh, you just said OF, and then the screen went blank, and I was like, the Secret Service found Yan and found his manifesto.
Like, as I find myself starting so many conversations these days, I don't want to start a cult. I mean, I do, but that's not the purpose of this conversation.
Yep. Because, Yan, you're like the pinball wizard or the blue wizard or whatever the...
Hello,
Ryan. You look awake.
Shalom.
We haven't played that bad at all, but it's like they're tripping over each other to get the ball in the net at times.
But you'd rather be at that stage of progress than can't pass a ball.
We don't know how to stick a foot through it from 15 yards out, how to find a yard, to wrong foot the keeper or a player and get the keeper missighted and smash it in.
No, that one there where Alcaraz goes. Alcaraz has been
criminal.
He's touched.
Most
of the time on the deck, but we've got.
Well, they're doing a replay here of Tim-Erik Bunim being pivotal to the build-up, winning the ball in the middle, being part of that 1-2 little tight passing and build-up play with Charlie for that goal-scoring chance. So I'm liking that side of it. I
just want to say one thing, if that's okay. I'm not come to ruin your stream. You've got over 6,000 people watching. That is a follow Everton record. Congratulations. But what I want to say to people is, most of you
like and subscribe.
Most of you watching on X. I don't mind you watching on X, of course. We're putting this content out, but Chris and Yan have given up a lot of time to be able to put this out for us. So if you want to support us, go to youtube.com or open the YouTube app.
Don't mention me in that. Chris is on another level.
youtube.com/follow Everton, or go on the YouTube app on your phone and search for Follow Everton and click subscribe. Do it right now. That's all I want to say. Enjoy.
So, breaking news. What number do you think Aznou's wearing, Ryan? Or those in the chat? Because I see it.
2.
Nope.
What's he wearing?
It's under 40 and above 30.
Really? 32?
39. 39.
Maybe we're waiting to see who signs first.
Well, I'm glad Emma thinks highly.
Did Alcaraz go off?
Looks like it. I'm trying to see the setup now. Dwight McNeil is on the right side now. And Yango came on. I don't know who for, but I'm sure he's in center.
Mate,
in the center half role.
That button when you start, people can't see the comments on the screen. There's a button you press.
Well, Ryan, I'm glad you've been watching for all this time. It was on, and then it was covering Yan's face, so I turned it off for a moment.
Got you. I just want to say one thing. I'm going to let you get on with this. Guys, free content. Come over on YouTube. youtube.com/follow Everton. If every single one of you did that, we'd be on 10,000 subscribers. You know, it's like so infuriating for us because we're.
But hang on, are you saying that none of our existing subscribers are watching today?
We have. We have.
163.
Go on, I'm not going to let you go. I'm loving it. I'm loving it, boys. It's brilliant, unbelievable. And we're going to win this.
Pinball around our penalty area.
And the pinball wizard of Mason Mount has it. Went out to Bruno, and a deep cross, not well handled, so it's going to be a throw in on Everton's left.
Do you know, we are quite, Chris, it is quite renowned that the number of times that we get away fans on here that say, what a wonderful place that you know, all you guys in the comments are and what you make it. It's just wonderful. Got to say, though, that United are still sustaining pressure and they're playing it on the right now. They were on the left before. Fernandes was putting pressure and it's a goal kick. It's led to nothing, and hopefully that'll be a bit of a reprieve for Everton to compose themselves.
Yeah. Hey, have you ever thought that Eugene could just be like the promo guy for Follow Everton?
Yeah. Speaking of the promos, though, thank you for bringing that up, Christopher. Just got to let people know, I was treated a bit like a VIP. Terrace Bar, Regent Road, right opposite Hill Dickinson Stadium. Friday night was the grand opening. Bernie made me feel really welcome. Everyone there was great. I just got to say, though, Lisa invited me. Great work she did. They asked me, well, they didn't ask me. They was like, can you come along and just maybe stick something? So I had to go at promoting something and did a bit of video thing. So I don't know if I can stick it up on the screen for all the fans watching.
Is it only for fans? Okay.
Oh, gotcha, Christopher. Oh, wow. What are we going to sing now? Because Moyes hasn't even got grey hair. It's white, you know.
And Moyes is white as snow. I don't know. But then the next line is he followed them to school one day. It doesn't really sound too good.
Wow.
All right. So I'm on 64 minutes, Jan. Are you pretty similar? Because I'm eager to talk about the game as well. Now we got Aznou on. He's looking quite pacey and accelerates into challenges, which is kind of fun to see.
And especially on the left with Njai is going to be quite interesting. I mean, you have to wonder what's going to happen with Mikalenko and whether Aznou's going to be straight in there or Mr. Toffees. Beautiful. Got to give a shout out here.
Yep.
I mean, we are not bitter. Bitter and twisted. Bitter, twisted and proud.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. With you and Ryan joining, I wasn't as adept to the subs, but I think Njai is now playing more in the 10 role. No, okay, my bad. O'Brien is still on the right. I think Mikalenko has gone central. So both Tagi and Keane, I don't think, are on now. So you've got Mikalenko and Yango playing central with Aznou playing left mid or left back. Sorry.
Yes,
Barry's on.
But it could be one of those fluid things, though. Having said that, you know, where we saw a lot of substitutions in the other game, was it the Bournemouth one, and there was just a lot of chopping and changing and fluidity in the back four.
Yep. And you've probably seen this as well. Barry basically flexed his forearm and knocked someone over and they looked pretty gassed and winded. So there's an injury break here for, what was his name again? Like Heaven or something? The Man United player with the dreads or the cornrow, sorry, but he looks like he may have had some contact. Is that your phone, Jan?
It's not my phone. It is the promo video that I made for the Terrace Bar. Just give it a watch very quickly, if that's all right with you guys.
Yeah, let's do that. Awesome. So this Terrace Bar is it on the stadium or is it looking onto the stadium? The camera works a bit confusing. So this is part of the stadium, or is it opposite the stadium, looking but and an easy walk to Hill Dickinson? Jan?
Sorry about that. Hello.
Oh. I saw this and I wasn't sure if it was just Jan and I not knowing how to talk to each other anymore.
No, it's gas pipe from before. Don't worry.
Is gas pipe also short for gas light?
I don't know. You could hear it,
He thinks
right?
we'll be... I couldn't hear it, no. But what you could also do is... So that was where the silence was. What you could also do, potentially, Jan, is...
It had loads of clips of commentary and the air raid siren. And, oh, no!
It just looked like it was a lot of flashing little shorts. It looked well produced. I'll give you that. I just didn't hear much. What I would recommend though, and we can pin it. We can send a promo link in the chat for people to go look at later.
It's on TikTok. It's on Instagram. I'll stick it in there. Go on then.
Yep, the
Back to the
Pinball Blue
match.
Wizard. Yes, and we're at 68. Are you at 68 minutes as well? It's still 1-1.
It is, well, do you make it sound like it's about to be 2-1?
No, okay. It's still 1-1.
I do know.
United
it's okay. I've got it up on two different things. There we go. There we go.
Well, it's not 2-1 anymore. It looks like Mason Mount had quite an effective strike, and Mason Mount scored a goal. I can't believe it. So Bruno was able to bypass on Yango. So basically, it was Eric Burnham, Dwight McNeil.
Eric Burnham did nothing. Then he slid it inside to Mason Mount, who just swiveled and shot. Bruno cut inside. He flicked it. No one was picking up or closing down Mason Mount. Now, Garner can't really be blamed because there was just nobody doing anything. Garner was checking for the man who was coming in on the edge of the box, quite rightly, because the defender didn't come forward. But it's this. No, I'd blame that on the static back line. Or not the fluid back line and the changes.
So in this scenario, we lost a 3v2. The strike, okay, credit where credit's due. It was an excellent strike, curled behind the defender. So it's harder for Pickford to see. Pickford was fully extended and couldn't get to the back post. So the strike was good, but here's the thing. They outpassed us in our box on a 3v2. Dwight McNeil, Tyler Nyango, and Tim Eric Burnham were outpassed by Bruno, who's been in there all match doing, granted, you may not like him, but he is excellent in terms of creativity and distribution. Did a 1-2 and bypassed our entire back line, and Mason Mount scored. That's it. So Nyango out of position, Eric Burnham looking a little too tired doing chasing back. But look, it's 70 minutes. I think we've known that for him for a little while. He does have spurts of energy, but he fades. But then again, that's a lot of work in the tank. But I think he struggles with that level of energy all match. You'll talk about. Someone said they didn't like the D word.
Mr. Toffees has just made this point, and it's exactly, you can see it happening. Now, I think that's down to the fluidity, the back five. You know, there's no Branthwaite, Tarkovsky's come off. We were still saying, you were literally saying before, we're both watching it. And by the way, just for the sake, all
right, United are in on goal again, aren't they?
Yeah, that's what I'm.
But it's a corner kick, so it's going to be on Everton's left-hand side. Looks like Ahmed may go take it.
The one person that took the initiative there was Mikalenko, who closed a man down when it seemed like we were just willing to back off and panic. There was no composure. There was no conviction to go in because it was almost like, well, if I go in, he's going to wrong foot me. It's frustrating. Yep. It is frustrating. But like I'd say, I think it's down to that fluidity because nobody really owns a position at the moment because we were still arguing over who's where, who's central, who's been subbed for who.
So speaking of subs, Ugarte and Cunha off. And we have Rasmus Højlund and Casemiro on.
It was Mason Mount, Shelley. Mason Mount. Bruno Fernandes wiggled in on the left. Basically, McNeil did nothing to close him down. Irabunam he had his back to him, and he just flicked it across. On Nyango, sorry.
Nyango was poor.
And Mason Mount got the ball, just swiveled, turned, and found the opposite far corner. Pickford couldn't get it. It was looping over him at full extension into the far corner, just nestled in the net.
There you go. Updated the ticker with the new score.
Gas pipe, cheer up, Jan. We haven't picked up any injuries. Win. Yes, a reference to our previous watch. A long watch.
I'll watch a long. I'll watch a long.
I like playing with words. It's more fun than playing with a football at the moment.
Yeah, Weird Al Yankovic. Does he have a club?
I mean, it depends. Does he play golf?
Oh no! All right. Barry just looked like he got completely wiped over by Harry Maguire, but because it's United, it's like, no, we do not give away cheap free kicks. We get them for us. But it is interesting. Barry it's almost like he's struggling to. Well, it's the same challenge that Beto has, honestly. How to get in rhythm with the rest of the squad that doesn't. By the time they get the ball to him, they just hope for miracles, don't they? I feel like Jan has some secret that he's trying to hold back.
We are not allowed to do watch-alongs like live because we can get like in trouble. Like, so yeah, it's like, oh, the one thing that
What
I'm
do you mean
watching.
live?
But in case it's got like live broadcast things, we can get warnings from YouTube for watching it. Like that's why I've got like a screen with like the signed in on there, and then I've got like a screen. I'm like,
Oh, is that what you're
yeah.
saying? Yeah.
But-
so we can't show content from the likes of Sky Sports or Stan directly. It's their right to display the live coverage, and it's copyright to them per region. So we can talk to that, and our interpretation of the audio is what makes the sale. Wait, is that two? Did Everton make that 2-2? They're giving it
I was
as a goal
waiting
here.
for you. I've been waiting. I've been waiting.
Well, you do realize I went backwards to help you again, and then now you're being the hero. You're so brave. You're so brave. You held your joy. So it's 2-2, and United are like really upset about this.
Yes, I'd be upset about it. It's like playing against children, and then when you sort of, your missus goes like, "Oh, do you want to come get the burgers?" And then all of a sudden they've run around. It's like, "We've won!" You're like, "You fucker!"
Like, what short comedy are you working on?
Oh, life, me. It's just this is just what my head's like all the time, man.
So life. So there's nothing better than an own goal in life. Is that what you're saying? So they're going to show the replay here. So it looks like Njai snuck it around the halfway line. He gets fouled and having an argy-bargy with Bruno. Onyango plays high and wide, who gets set up with Dwight McNeil, and he's chased by Amad Diallo, and he's very heavy-footed in his tackle. But yeah, Iliman and Jai, and oh no, it wasn't even an own goal by Diallo. It was what's his name again? Heaven coming through.
Yeah, he ran across him, and it was Heaven. It was Heaven. I've been waiting for.
Yeah, I mean, Bruno likes to get in fights with everyone, and I think his passion, like in all honesty, if he played for him, you'd get annoyed with him, but you kind of love that he's passionate. He doesn't direct it consistently, and his emotion gets the better of him. It's a bit like watching, Mr. Abdullahi back in the day.
He's got a bit. Well, no, he's got a touch of the Cristiano Ronaldo's, like a petulant or a childish if things aren't going his way.
But there's a lot of players like that. What's trippy here? They're showing a yellow card, but they had Bruno's name in red. So they were saying like the player was red, but I thought he was getting a red card, but they said yellow. All right, I'll update the score. We can't have negativity here, Gasbite. We have to have. I can give us a higher score. Let's figure out who the second goal scorer was, but it is at least this. It's 2-2.
It was.
We know that.
It was Heavenog.
Heavenog. No, they're giving it to Amad Diallo actually, which is interesting. I don't think that's
because
correct.
He kicked the ball and then it hit his teammate. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, which is.
They'll do anything to rob a perfectly good offside. Sorry.
So this is what's always funny. Do I write the goal as an Everton on the Everton side, or is it actually a Diallo own goal? So it's actually attributed to Man United have scored 3. You know what I mean?
That is off. That's a very interesting question. Yeah, because you argue, you put the name and you put like Og and you put the time and stuff and you put it underneath. But does it go under Everton or Man United? Yeah.
Yeah, because Diallo, I mean, Everton, Man United have scored negative goals against themselves.
Therefore, thus, but then wouldn't? Oh no, like we're gonna get this is gonna get into like autistic levels of stuff that people are just gonna be like, nope, see you bye.
Okay. Mathematics and autism do correlate, but it's just mathematics, Jan.
No, and music. And music, because music is maths. It's the Fibonacci sequence on maths, which also reflects the tendency for things to go towards the golden ratio of 1 to 1.61, which is the tendency of the Fibonacci sequence.
Yeah, something isn't adding up. But I find this interesting. Ryan, I suppose, is getting some optimism here. He's saying it'd be a good point away from home, like playing United anywhere in the world other than Hill Dickinson is really an away match for Everton because United have more fans everywhere. But it's funny because both teams are not playing at their home stadium, so both teams are playing away, and it's a good point away from home. But the points don't matter because it's not the season. Whatever.
Actually,
it's interesting when you do pre-season and put like you've been at the pub.
No,
Look, is
I was at
Barry
Hilbert
is Barry
Island,
coming off injured?
I think
He's
he got
holding his
smacked in the
right
face.
forearm or like right elbow.
Yeah.
So hopefully
he's
it's
probably oh, he's fine.
ooh.
He's probably just jarred his elbow. No, I haven't been to the pub.
I mean, he's strapped up his hand too. Maybe he's been doing too much boxing.
It won't feel like home immediately, but it will eventually. Because it's
like me moving into a new
house.
Yeah, exactly right. For me, my old home was in rural Arizona in Morenci, and now I'm in Perth, Australia. And the new home is feeling like home, but it's not the feelings, the smells, who's behind you and what they're gonna say next. No, but there's an you go to a stadium, you go to a bar
behind you. What is going on in your home, Chris?
I know what you had for dinner. Like, no, but what I'm saying. You go to your local pub. There's certain elements that are human. So it's visuals. It's no, but you hear things, you smell things, you have feel good foods and comfort, and all of it connects into your like what is home to you. And the stadium is home to a lot of people.
Lumped forward into the box.
And there's two Everton people with a head injury.
He's holding his face, and him, and I think it's Garner or something.
It's on Yango and O'Brien with head injuries here.
Oh yeah, it's not Irabuna, it's on Yango. Sorry. Just another thing. They're all right.
The back of basically the nose of Onyango into the back of O'Brien's head when they go up for a header, and Casemiro avoided the contact. All right, so it's been updated. I'll go change that.
Wow, you guys are real slave drivers, you know.
Yes, sorry, I was paying attention to the match, trying to listen to Yan, and I didn't check SofaScore quick enough. But we have updated it. So until next time, the feedback is correct.
You do indeed.
All right, so it looks like Armstrong and Chimiti are about to come on. I imagine it'll be who would it be for? Do you think, Yan? We've got about 10 seconds to find out already. You timesheet.
Oh, sorry.
I imagine Njai might come off at this point.
It probably would be a sensible thing, but
and James Garner, yes. I would imagine, to take off as well.
By the way,
actually, no, Iri Bunham's looking leggy. I would take him off.
This is true. The women's season starts, or there's some games at Goodison. I think there's the derby, but there's one before. I can't remember. I looked at it, and they're playing West Ham. No?
If the games are affordable, that would make it for a good Tinder date, wouldn't it, Jan? Take someone to the match. It would be more space in the stadium.
I suppose. I mean, but the whole point is, like, if you go on a date with somebody, I'd never want to take somebody to something where you can't like exist and just do stuff. It's like going to the cinema. Why would you do that? Or going for a meal? No, I'd rather do something weird, like, glass blowing, or do something, go for a walk. It might be a bit boring, but talk, do stuff. Nah,
Yeah,
not go to football. I don't want anyone to see me in the most uncharacteristically me thing where I'm like effing and blinding and telling the referee that his kids will always have like, yeah.
But have you gone to the Everton women's match before? And if so, do you feel
Only-
that you react the same way to the results for the first 11 versus them?
To be fair,
One sec.
you might
Eric
obviously know that
Boonham
I've
and then
taken-
Jai came off.
Aznou, by the way, is doing all right. He's actually holding his position quite well, knowing his responsibilities. Yeah, we should probably get back to the match. But you can go and watch the women's game. I've been to Watchalong Park a few times. Lovely environment. The away fans are great. And the fact that they'll be trialing drinking beer in the seats, which will be a great way to get more people to go. And it is a lovely, it's a much better atmosphere. Yeah, absolutely. There's fierceness and passion, but it's not this horrific hostility. It's, a more collaborative celebration of the game, I think. That's what I found.
Wouldn't that be it? And that's only in the away side.
Everton have got the ball on the left anyway, and they're getting some pressure. And Chamiti had driven it in. And now we've got
Aznou they're showing Aznou working with Dwight McNeil on that side, but hard to break out. So Armstrong on the left here looking pretty promising, trying to take on too many players, but knocks it back to Aznou for it was a poor cross, but it was deflected out for a corner, it looks like. So it's 2-0. Here I'm at 84-45. And James Garner is going to try another corner. I'll have to he hasn't been terrible in his delivery today. They haven't been perfect by any means, but they're beating the first man. They're challenging at the back post. So James Garner's delivery is notably better today. That's all I got. So again, back post, like right
delivery
there.
With intent.
That was good. You know why? It was in an uncomfortable spot for two United players. They got in each other's way. It spilled, and Everton nearly got a foot in because it wasn't obvious to the front post where everyone's charging forward. They had to backtrack off balance.
Sorry, I got the wrong one there. SW, absolutely quite right. This is definitely the most positive game of the three. Yes.
Of the five, actually. Of the five.
And if I can also, yeah, there you go. Dave, Danny, everyone's in agreement. SW, that is getting a star because maybe it's just a guess here, but I think it might have been they were hammering the training, the physical, the aerobics, the fitness, the cardio, to really get
United in on goal here.
Yeah.
All right. Blocked.
It was a great save by Pickford. Danny mentioned it before. You guys, feel free to have a chat in the comments because you're ahead of us, if you are watching, but just try not to ruin it too much, for other people and things like that. But yeah, that was it. The fitness is better. It's good to see. My fitness is better. How are you, Chris? How are you? How's all changed? We don't have to go into details, but because I know it's been a very stressful, very busy time for you, mate. How are you?
I'm pretty good. When you can't relax too much because everything's not fully planted. The house, the job, it's there's little things where you're about over the line, but it's not fully there yet. So excitable. To Gan's point, I've started a new job last week. And I'm in the final stages of buying a house over in Australia. So it's almost all over the line, but until it's on the new job, very excited for that. And for the house, it's just final stages of the financing here. So all well and good, and pretty happy with things. And yeah, I'm turning 35. So now that sounds like a very official, formal age.
When?
I mean, 6 hours ago, technically.
And this is not like a banner headline.
Why is my birthday worthy of a headline on a football channel where I'm not a football player?
Can someone, so that I don't swear too much directly at my esteemed colleague over here, can someone please tell me or tell him why it's okay? Because you're fucking hosting the.
Yeah, okay. But here's the thing. We talked about this because both Kevin and I have a birthday, and we talked about it at the beginning. But if you keep
Can I tell you
talking
a
about it being
secret?
your birthday, that's quite boring content to say it's about you. It's
Everybody's
about the football.
everybody's got a birthday. It's not just you and Kevin, but yours is today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, man. I hope 35 is good for you. It was, to be honest,
Oh, look
not
at
great
this.
for me.
This is Adam's dad who's watching live. So that's Adam. That's Adam's dad, Derek.
Ah.
We've got what about 3 minutes left here until
I mean,
full time. So it's on 89 minutes. James Garner maybe gives an opportunity here with a late corner. He's going to be taking it on his right foot in swinging.
it is a traditional Desmond friendly. I don't
Yep.
think there'll be very
High
much.
to the back post. It's going to be won by Armstrong here, who's taking on Heaven. Goes back to Mikalenko, who's going to do a back post delivery, pretty heavily weighted, but does find James Garner, but covered well by United with Bruno, who's been battling all day. He's either been battling with Njai or the referee, but he knocked it up for a throw-in. So it's James Garner here, looking to do a long throw-in, probably to the back post. Still got some arm strength, but not enough to beat the first man. United away with a clearance, but Everton get there first. Dwight McNeil hoofs it up in the air. It's a bit of a scramble to get the second ball, but he gets it back to himself. Heaven bumps him. There's 3 minutes on the clock here. Chamiti chasing Maguire there. Oh, no, sorry, Mason Mount.
Which should have been a free
not
kick.
given. Maguire's got it now. Looks like he's found. I don't know who that player is in the middle. There's too many United players and they're small. Or small on my screen to see. And I think at minimum, this is a much better. This is what I want. Okay, we've been really upset about how Everton have looked. This is the kind of match where if you lose today and you lose 3-2, you say, you know what? Everton have made a reasonable showing of themselves. I don't mind this in the off-season not getting a result. This is the kind of match I've been looking for.
Intent, or at least competitiveness where we don't roll over.
You know what they're trying to do at times. The pressing has been much better. They're trying to challenge them through the middle. We had those opportunities.
They're playing football. That's not a good sign. That's not a good sign, Chris.
Oh, I'm thinking of The Simpsons, where like when they have the one football match and then they advertise it to the US market. Look at these flaming bicycle kicks. And then like the Simpsons guys go, he passed to his left, he passed to his right, he's passed to his left. And then they show the guys in the from Mexico like really into the passing, and they're just like back, forth, back. Forth, back, forth. And you're like, they can't even do fundamentals. So today, we're seeing patterns of play. We're able to come up with passing triangles. Off the ball movement means we're not just giving the ball away immediately. Granted, they gave the ball away here down the channel to try and create something. We've got about probably a minute left. Yeah.
I'm not asking about whether someone's a good dancer and they can mimic a routine, but have you ever seen someone and you just go, they just dance with their body, they're present, they can just dance. And that is the equivalent of what we want to see on the football pitch. You want people you don't need them to go, this is my position, there's a man here. It's like, you just do the football. Just do the football, you know?
Do the stuff.
Yeah.
So, like, you can tell that the likes of a Dwight McNeil has been trained from childhood to learn what doesn't seem natural. Some players seem to have that flow to them, and Dwight. No, but I think you know what I'm saying. You can tell he's worked so hard to manufacture a career for himself, and credit to him. But a lot of the movements don't seem natural to a lot of players. And you're seeing
But having
actually
said that, United are very quick and switched on. They know exactly how to just get that ball, and all the players seem to have this little arsenal of tricks. I hate to,
yeah. Well, there's about 15 very expensive, high value number 10s. Yeah,
it was very nearly an Everton moment right at the last minute there, by the way. Though.
Let's see. Oh, I'm seeing the bicycle kick. No. Yeah, so it's full time. It is 2-2. And Everton at least got a hypothetical point in this off-season tournament. So they are going to end, I imagine, at the bottom of the table for that. But results don't truly matter. How we play does. And you know what? Today...
Money.
And for everything else, is MasterCard.
Yeah. Look, that was actually a decent game.
Yeah. Well, what we really need to hear your opinion on. What do you think of the new Pickford haircut?
Oh, the social thing. Oh, right. Yeah. It's what you mean, the blonde, or what specifically about it?
Well, he used to have his hair quite long and flicked back, and now it's kind of looks a lot more like mine, just kind of a messy flop.
I mean,
short back and sides.
Do you know? I really don't want to rain on your parade. Like, I genuinely, I don't know how to say this without sounding insulting. Oh my God, am I getting old? I don't care.
I know. It was in the comments, Jan. And you have to go dig in the dirt to get the comments.
Oh, sorry. Oh, crap. Have I inadvertently
because we hadn't seen Pickford for a while after that injury. He came back. I think people were shocked that he had a new haircut, and that was like one of the first things that had on the stream a couple hours back. So
I did see a social post before the game.
Sorry, this is good.
So we saw a lot of substitutions in that game. Yes.
A lot of substitutions. So we saw, who do we see? Come on. We saw Aznou. What did you think of Aznou?
Sharp.
Yep. He seems to have really good acceleration to kind of be in the face of the next man. So that was really exciting to see. Sort of like one of these, those cars that in like first and second gear to accelerate to 50 miles an hour really quickly. He's got that kind of ability. You can see real quick. I imagine it'll take a little bit longer. And what I would like to actually see would be him starting at left back with Iliman and Jai against Roma, so that you can see with the proper players in front of him, how would he do in an actual match? Because once you have Dwight McNeil coming in a bit tired, and centre back and midfield not really as a few rotations in, is it a really good look at how he'll play? It's a bit tricky.
You can't. I mean, like for instance, you summed it up. It's right. You're not gonna, it's not an accurate litmus test, and that's why when we even conceded some of those goals, and like you say, 3-on-2, but you'd like to imagine. I mean, not just what we hope is the standard of football, but you'd like to imagine that kind of stuff's not what you're going to see with a set formation and a standard 11 and a solid spine or backbone to the team.
And I think the big problem that I've noticed in this is that every time we go to a back five, we have seemed to struggle. We've got too many men deep, and wide players aren't pressing high enough to me. So we seem to concede and look less dangerous with the back five. But I think it's also just giving the likes of Tyler and Yango some game time and giving what we really needed. And we got to see today. Tarkovsky played. He looked comfortable, confident. The penalty was a joke, so don't blame him for that. He looked comfortable today, and he didn't injure himself, and he got a good 60 minutes out of it. And you know what? If you give a goal away and your starting players are better for it, and Onyango learned something out of it, okay.
But okay, I do just want to bring it up because is this you or is this Ryan?
This is Ryan.
Right. Come on and discuss it, Ryan. genuinely, because the point I'm saying, it's not mad. We knew it was going to happen. There are some players. There's still the expectation of more signings. That has been implied in some of the communications and the questions and stuff. Now, but the point I want to make is that where is this coming from? Like, I understand there's a shortage of players, but it's not a surprise, mate. It's really not. And to anyone, like, glass half full. Everton are on the right. Absolutely. I don't want a controversy where it gets us sort of emotionally frothing at the mouth or rage baiting, because the reality is we could have had more players hemorrhage and leave us and say, nah, I'm fleeing the sinking ship kind of mentality. Friedkin's come in. We've already had some intent and signings and in the right kind of areas. So I think that, as you know, was it Louise who's going to possibly come in?
Douglas Luiz, was it?
Yeah.
David Luiz is a bit retired,
David.
but Douglas Luiz is still around. Yeah, so the half full thing, I think all things considered, other than, we didn't win against United in a friendly, I was a lot more content watching this game today. If we play like, there were times today where you said, if we played like this against Leeds and other squads, we will get some results. Granted, the reality is that we get a couple injuries, and the people that played in the second half today get brought on. We know the transfer situation, so it's a bit awkward and dire, but it's not. We don't want to just turn on the club, turn on the squad. We're notorious for doing that. That's not where we're at. I think we need to just trust in the process a little bit, but we're very worried that we'll be kind of complacent and all of a sudden everything's good. We do nothing. Then we walk into a problem start of the season if nothing happens. But that's the thing. And you're probably well aware of this too, Jan. The second you start saying we're desperate for players, then all of a sudden the price of the players goes up because they know that Everton have the money to spend. And now you're in a bind that you have to spend more money to get the players that you didn't want. Now if you get all the players that you wanted, with all those inflated costs, you lose out on one additional player that you would have been able to afford if you didn't say too much by trying to do crowd pleasing. And I think Moyes is in a tough spot. He wants to tell the fans he knows it's not okay, but you shouldn't tell everybody else externally that it's not okay, and you shouldn't tell the players that it's not okay, because then what does that mean?
Like
we got a fiery response from them today. Yeah, we seem to get a little bit more flair out of this squad today than previously, so maybe it worked.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to say, but it's not really substantiated. It's not like it was a competitive game in the sense that we're expecting. It's a bit frustrating to.
Yeah. Well, I find this one.
Let's be having. I'm sorry. I've only just noticed that the picture that is absolutely phenomenal. So that is Delia Smith. That's her name, I think it is. And from East Anglia, she's quite a renowned British
personality,
chef, cook, who's been on TV and had books and stuff. And she does this is just how you cook. Okay. And she's a really famous Norwich fan and Norwich City. And I think she was captured when they got promoted after 10, 15, 20 years in the wilderness. I think it was she was on the microphone and the famous soundbite was her sort of screaming into it, "Let's be having you!" And it's just quite funny.
So "Let's be having you" is now Lesby Avenue. Okay.
It's just funny.
I think this is generally a good synopsis of where I think I'm at, but it's all subjective to this being true. Moyes will get a couple over the line. Meantime, he's not wasting money. That is correct, but I think the concern is as long as that happens, everybody's happy, but we don't get to see the inner workings of it. And if it doesn't happen and we're told, relax, everything's good, we get nervous. That's the tricky part. So as long as we get these signings, we're fine. Yeah? That's the thing.
See, Tazul Islam is optimistic. Inshallah, yes. Absolutely. We can hope, right?
Yeah. But Ryan getting upset about being at the bottom of the summer series. I agree completely with Peter Duggan. That's really not the point.
But
Let's
that's what
not
I said before, though. I see what Ryan. That's a good point, though, because the money.
Yeah, but like, all right. But what if you? There's a lot of way. Okay,
You
winning
can't
gets
do
you
anything
those
about it
results.
now. So moaning about it is it's a moot
But
point. Or if you're a fan of Friends,
success in
it's a
all
moot
facets
point.
of life makes you more successful. You win more games, you get more money. You work hard, you somehow get them optimize your players, get them to do well, get people on the cheap, get them to perform. But you know what? Everyone says that. That's logical and obvious, but it isn't always that easy. If you don't have the squad and you don't want to burn money early in the transfer market, and when no one's really sure where they want to go, the high end players, yes, the project at Everton is one thing to say, look, we have a fancy new stadium, but you have the fan base couldn't turn on players. It's happened before. If the results don't happen, yeah, it's gone a few times. We're not in Europe, so are we going to get the highest talent unless you make a statement signing, and unless you get the statement signed in to say this person is now going to be the champion, like the standard bearer for bringing more people in, to say that we're making that intent, people are not sure about making that commitment. So they'll come when other options shut down, or it seems fitting at the right moment to come over. Do you see Tyler Diblin as a good pick for us?
I mean, tell me what's amazing about him.
Amazing. I don't say he's amazing. I think he seems to be a surprise. He was a surprise success at times last year, a flash in the pan. People got excited to see a young British talent that was unexpected score goals in the Premier League. But then it seemed he got kind of found out and fizzled away, like a lot of, unfortunately, Southampton did. But the fact that you have flashes of brilliance at the Premier League level in a struggling squad says if you're developed and catered to correctly, you can get something out of this player. David Moyes has been able to generate successful wide play at Everton before, typically down the left, but I don't think it was because he doesn't like the right wing. It may be the availability of players down that side where he had to put the likes of Phil Neville, Hibbert, and those kind of roles. So they're not as creative, but you could get something out of the like of Tyler Dillon and develop him. I just don't think he's going to win us spots up the table right now.
The point being, is he the investment that's going to pay off in the ways that we need investment? Because the whole premise is, as flawed as it may be, that every year each team tries to get stronger and the weakest drop away. Now, we do not want to be in those weakest three. And if this player is not going to add immediate value, you don't want to have a product that needs developing when the squad is so thin. And we've already got potentially, you'd like to imagine we have some youth players that would qualify for that whole pipeline of youth development.
I mean, you've heard of someone called Yusuf Chimiti, haven't you? We've had him for like 3 years.
Yeah.
I don't mind having a few players like that, but I think Diblin is closer to a starting right winger, and I think he would get right now probably 50% of the games he could start. But what I would want to see is him getting, I don't know, a quarter of the matches he starts, and he's a bench option who comes in for 20, 30 minutes late in matches. And I think he's better in that spot than Harrison Armstrong.
Yeah, but exactly.
I would rather see James Garner play where he did today, more central and deep.
Yeah, but exactly.
Sorry, if I think I cut you off, go ahead.
No, it's fine. Sorry. I accidentally doing video replay thing. Don't worry. Sorry.
Okay. I'm just seeing Awesome Knights comments, and I'm just like,
yeah,
we need to accept. I'm like, I'm not sure what he's trying to get at. And I'm also not sure if Ryan is saying it's awful or a foul, because I did notice that he does get a lot of yellows, and it's usually a result of him not getting the opportunity to get his foot on the ball early, and he's trying to make a statement in the final 5 minutes, coming in a bit hot and knocking a defender who falls over easily, gives away a yellow, this kind of thing. So I'm not sure if that's what he's really trying to get at. But I like, and Duggan's probably getting, responding to something that I noticed last year, that when you play friendlies and someone looks good, it was a tricky one that I think I've never really. And if Ryan jumps on, we can go have more of this
come on,
dialogue
Ryan.
with him.
Come on, Ryan, bring it out, man.
Jump on, because
to me, I completely forgot to have dinner, and I've lost track of time, and I'm really terrible. And I was out on the beach, and then went to a friend's house and stuff. So if you come on, I can hop off and shove some food in my gob. Join us, Ryan.
Yeah,
join us. You know.
So, do you think the series in USA has been worthwhile? Yes.
Yeah.
It's a opportunity for Everton to not just play Bolton, Blackburn, Stoke, and go like
Preston,
and basically and have a half tank of petrol on the bus to save money on budgets.
Excellent local knowledge there, Chris. Excellent. Wonderful.
I know what Google Maps is. Yeah. Okay. So the piece of this that I wanted to bring up, because it's an intricate topic, but when it comes to friendlies at the start, oh, there he is. After he says he's not available, he's trying to come on. Is that Ryan?
No, it's not.
Hello, this is Talk Sports Avenue.
Yeah.
I just don't like the footballers.
Well, that's fantastic. We've been joined by Ryan from over the pond, who doesn't quite know where he's going or what he's doing.
Is that those Chicago Red Bulls?
I've learned a little bit about the players in this preseason, and I know more than ever what we need, what we don't need, what we've got, and whatnot, and who's done particularly bad and who's done particularly well. That's what I mean. Every time Chimiti comes on, he just fouls the opposition. You're right. We don't have control of the game. He always seems to throw them on when it's like a scattergun formation, scattergun of players, and they can never really excel or show themselves off well.
He's not set up for success in this team when he's played.
No, he's going to get loaned out. I wonder what's happened to Patterson as well. I mean, he's another one who kind of does loads of good things and then all of a sudden does something really bad and will.
Can I just say to you? Can I say to you though that it would be churlish not to imagine that Everton, while they're over there, would be availing themselves of. You've lived in America, even in Arizona. The amount of sport investment. Sport is so inherent. It's intrinsic to American life that those who engage with it. There's a whole much bigger industry than we have here. It's fetishized to the level of Hollywood. You know, the money, the industry. So you go over there, you are foolish to think that they're not engaging with healthcare, nutritionists, sports scientists, all the top athletics departments. You know, possibly the Chicago Bulls and all the baseball teams. You know, and there's such a concentration of sports teams in that area anyway. To us, you know, of certain things in that Midwest, in the sort of Rust Belt, that they must be going there. So my thinking is, okay, so players have had injuries and they've gone and they've not played, and some haven't gone and stuff. They're addressing things, really. There must be, because Friedkin's not going to come in and just go take somebody's word. It's like a whole audit must have been taking place, mate. That's what I'm thinking. And if somebody from the club is telling me, no, of course not, why the not?
Okay, I feel like we jumped in a lot of directions. So
I'm talking about.
I'm asking about what this audit is. What is the context of audit? Are you saying the club as a whole,
go in and,
the players?
Because something's been
you went all over those.
Join the dots.
What the hell are you talking about? You're asking me about.
I'm trying to join the dots. I'm trying to make a frame of what you said.
Yeah,
I'm just talking about facts. Going on about bullshit.
No, it's not bullshit. Thank you very much, co-host. It's actually
not
the fact that
co-hosting.
clearly something. If I'm trying to tell you the name of the issue of the problem, or do you want to mock me, or do you want to hear what the actual issue is? It's the fact that something's been wrong with Patterson. You could say that there was the fracas with Dyche, or whether it's the fact that he was playing in Scottish teams and first team and an international thing, and yet he's been sidelined at Everton. There's clearly stuff been going on, whether it's psychological, whether it's injuries and sports stuff. So this is what I'm saying, that stuff.
Have you never just considered that he's not up to the standard? I mean, look at Tyler Onyango when he comes on. Next, you'll be telling me he's got personal issues, and that's why he's not very good at football. He's just not very good. He's 22 years of age. He's been on loan to League One team.
Hello, Jeff.
I'm just saying about Chimiti, when people moan, oh, he's a kid, he's a youngster. Yeah, but then we've just paid money for the Bayern left back who's a kid, and you want to go and sign Tyler Dibbing for 35 million, who's 19 years old. So a kid is a kid. A kid is also a footballer. If he's good enough, he plays.
So
I can't shout and raise
your
my voice.
purpose was saying that the United States, because they have such an investment financially in sports science, and professional coverage of sport, that you can develop players and maybe help them with health science or something. Yes. Is it when it comes to tactics of football or teaching them techniques or something, United States is not going to be the place to say, hey, we're going to help Patterson get better at passing and tactics in football, because that's not the place for it.
Well, what I found interesting was that Sean Dyche is
if it's just mental, if it's mental versus capability, but he seems to have gone backwards. And I actually think he feels on the out of the team, and that's sometimes a big thing. Are you part of the team, the cohesion, or are you just kind of
multiple managers haven't played him. 3 managers haven't played him. He's been on the bench. And we've got no right backs. Ashley Young was getting games ahead of him. Jacob Bryan.
Okay, I'll just be honest here. I'm going to go a little bit off topic to prove a point. Ryan, you were saying, it's down to personal things. Okay, no, there's been a trauma at Everton. There's been a catalogue of traumas where players have gone with the promise that a corner will be turned professionally for them. This is their livelihoods and their legacy. And they stake it on a contract, and they stake a couple of years of their lives and their reputation and their future avenues and opportunities and trajectory. And some players can piggyback to stardom with very little skill, being in a team of wonderful other players. You can have some very good players, as Peter's pointed out, Peter Duggan pointed out, that go on to do some wonderful things, funnily enough, as they left. Shkodran Mustafi, okay, so he could have gone at Arsenal, but we have a back catalogue of players that have been at Everton, and we seem to have crippled them in some way. Whether it's we demand too much of them, whether it's the fans getting back at them, whether it's the whole clusterfuck that has been the trauma of being an Evertonian for the past 3, 4, 5, 37 years, right? But you cannot then just throw everything out of the window and say that, oh, no, it's fine, they come in, fresh start. Are you kidding me? These people here, it's eggshells. They're eggshell fine. And you can't start tearing them apart over what they've got, a threadbare squad. We've had multiple points deductions. We've not been able to spend any money. And you think
Hang on a minute. I've come on to talk about the pre-season as a whole. I've focused on a couple of things, and you've just gone on waffling on about loads of stuff. I'm trying to look at individual performances over the pre-season. So, I don't think any of the forwards have pulled up any trees. None of them have scored. None of the 3 strikers have scored across the entire pre-season, which is quite frankly embarrassing. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter about signings. I'm talking about what we've got in front of us.
So
it's on the up, mate. It's on the up.
Okay. So there's a couple different topics here. I think both are necessary to go over. Jan, I think yours maybe we save for a different day, with the philosophy and the attitudes and how hard it is to sign players and the false hope of bringing players in. That may not be necessary for the end of this end of this competition. Let's do a squad recap, who we've been happy with, who's been a problem, where our holes seem to be, and we can do the other topic.
Yes, I agree, Chris. I could sit and talk for half an hour about how annoyed I am about transfers and stuff and everything, and go into that. But I've come on to talk about the pre-season, this particular tour. And I think Everton haven't given a good account of themselves up until today. And I think today, I'm going to say we were possibly the better team. But, when you've got players, what we're trying to do is rob the ball back on the turnover and punish them. But half the time, Irabunam's fallen over the floor. Alcaraz runs but forgets to take the ball with him. It's kind of like a lack of cohesion, and it is frustrating. But we'll get there. We were better than United there, I thought.
That lack of cohesion, Ryan. When you say that, I think it might sound really reductive and really simple, but we don't get. We went from a team that sometimes, quite a lot of the time, against similar or worse opposition, when we finish higher in the table, we'd have more than 50% possession. And when you have less of the ball, you do less. And it implies that you're under pressure more and the other team have got it. Okay, they've changed how they measure possession now. Now, for me, that we're playing a reactive kind of football that then relies on the opposition and, the smash and grab and quick on the counter and lumping it forward and quick on the turn. And, okay, fine, right? I get it. Take chances where you can. But Liverpool do that. And Newcastle do that, and yet they still have majority possession and they still dominate and they still bang 4 or 5 in. And it's really, really frustrating to think that what fundamental change does it take for us to say that I don't want to live in the past. But clearly, Moyes was here previously, and there are footballers. Football has not changed that much in 15, 20 years, right? What are we going to do to turn up to a football match and go, we're playing football here? What are you going to do about it?
So I will bring up 2 points that I think tie into my observation of the answer there. Part 1 and part 2 are both linked to one player, Jacob Bryan at right back. We played a lot better, more advanced, more progressive, and things were happening on that right side. To me, that was huge. And every time we're in a back 5, we looked out of answers, and back 4, there was an opportunity for us, and it looked like we could play the ball up. And he was causing trouble for the opposition, and we could hold the ball up further up the pitch. The left side, we know we can. Yeah, go ahead, Ryan.
Well, we played that 4-1-4-1 in the first half, and you're right. We did. It does go out the window when we go to the back 5. I can't remember us ever being effective in any point in the last 10 years playing a back 5 in any match. In all honesty. Maybe Burnley away last season, or was it the season before where we won?
It was the European match.
Yeah.
No, but that 4-1-4-1.
Hang on, please. Let me just finish the point.
You're right.
The 4-1-4-1. If you think back to David Moyes in his prime at Everton, he would only go with one holding midfielder. He wouldn't have two very defensive midfielders and 2 defensive fullbacks. Yeah,
it was either Carsey or Heitinga primarily. Yeah,
he'd have one holding, and ideally he'd have 2 attacking fullbacks. I don't think he's got what he wants in order to play that system, but I think the 4-1-4-1 is more. It looked more exciting. We were able to press higher. We were better and we were more aggressive, more turnovers. But you can really have a go at the players in the first 2 matches, but you can also say that David Moyes admitted he doesn't work on tactics. I don't really know what kind of we were trying to do. Are we just there to make up the numbers in those games? But yeah, James Garner was the best player on the pitch today, I think.
Yeah, credit to him, because he's quite often going to receive a lot of flack for not having been pushed over in the midfield, passing him on, or poor delivery. I think his delivery from corners in particular today was a lot better. It didn't lead to a goal, but he was getting past the keeper, getting to the back post, and it was causing problems at ground level. So credit to him for his performance and delivery. We have to say that we've played 3 matches. We finished bottom of the tournament. It means nothing really, but you don't want to go and play Premier League opposition and lose every game, because they're taking it semi-serious. And I think you have to try and build your brand in America. It is important, but as I've said before, in terms of individual performances, you've got 3 strikers, none of them scored. You've got a midfield that I thought Garner Gay has been off it. In all honesty, I know he did score in the last match, but I think he hasn't been his best. And what's worrying me so much is this is like a 17, 18-man squad. You're taking a player off your defensive midfielder like Garner Gay, and you haven't got a defensive midfielder on the bench. You can't. You're relying on players like Alcaraz when he's not doing it and he's not effective. We haven't got anyone. You're relying on Garner Gay and relying on him. But I really think Harrison Armstrong is one to be kept, by the way. I think he seems
to. Why do you say that? Please tell me why. Yeah. My brain's just going, why?
sometimes when you watch players, these young players, they come on, they haven't got
Oh
the
no,
physique.
sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Harrison Armstrong, right. I thought you were on about like Jack
Armstrong,
Harrison.
not
Sorry.
Harrison. Yeah.
No, Harrison Armstrong. I would keep him with us this season. I just think he's got edge to him. He wants to take players on. He wants to make things happen. He looks tall. He looks like he would benefit possibly from being involved rather than shipped out. I mean, we can't do anything about it at the moment. We can sit and do half an hour on the fact we've got 15 players who are actually because I don't count Coleman. I don't count Coleman.
Okay.
And I don't count. I'm not counting on Chimiti really either. In all honesty, I know people rate this guy, but what? Because he scored in a preseason game 2 years ago in Sligo Rovers. You know, come on, give me a break.
Okay, but look, okay, let me just ask you then. There have been some positives here, and let's talk about the positive trajectory and the on Project Everton, because Aznou came on, and I'd just like to point out as well, it was really lovely. We've got a huge following tonight. Osama, hang on. Yeah, we'll talk about that. Osama, thank you for joining us from Morocco. Wow. Yeah, says hello to us, not to you, Ryan. No. Fellow sports journalist. fellow sports journalist. Thank you very much. That is a blessing and a lie.
Well, he's got his little access lanyard, so clearly he's
I know.
He's a pro.
He's obviously been following Aznou for years. What a talent. So, absolutely. If you want to drop some comments in, feel free to join us anytime. If there's an Everton game, we'll be covering it and he's playing. I mean, this is a lovely place, and we do appreciate there are probably plenty of Man United fans here who are watching and making it rather lovely. We can't see.
You were talking about positives there, but
and Aznou,
I just want to say the one final negative thing, and then you can say something positive. What Joey's saying here is correct, because if you think about across the 3 matches, and this is where I go back to style of play, no striker is going to score when you don't get the ball in the box, when you don't get crosses in, when you don't give them decent delivery, slipping them through, or you could stick Dixie Dean up front and he wouldn't score in this team, and that's
no. They've been sitters missed. What's his name? Missed one on the last match.
We did miss a few today. What are the positives then? Jacob Bryan is probably better at right back than centre back. That's your first.
Jacob Bryan is getting into the box, getting goal scoring opportunities, and is an avenue that saves our right side right now.
Pickford made an amazing save when the ball got slipped in behind on Yango. Tarkovsky's a different level to anything we've got. We can't be without him. We badly missed Jared Branthwaite. Mikalenko seems to benefit from the competition, possibly, of Aznou, because he was stepped up his game today. I was really happy with Mikalenko.
And build up from the back is better than it used to be. I think I've noticed that he seems a lot more comfortable making passing triangles and working his way up the pitch. Delivery is still 50-50. But I think he's looking better and more comfortable in attacking positions and with the ball at his feet than he used to for Mikalenko.
Now, do you know? So can I just can I say though what's really exciting about Aznou, and I do want to drop this in there, and I don't know if you guys have mentioned it. You talk about Bayern Munich, and then he was on loan. He was at the Barcelona academy, right?
Yeah,
La Masia.
Yeah, but so was.
Of Ryan for the negatives.
Someone
it didn't work out. One player didn't work out.
Okay, but so was Gerard Deulofeu, and it was an attitude that seemed a complacency on the pitch, but it came out that he was one of those that was treated a bit like a star and got diva treatment. So maybe that was a little bit of a crash back to reality, because he kind of did okay when he went to Watford, was it? Now the point being, right? There's something special about this lad, and you can see that on the pitch, and whether it's the special because he's just, it doesn't mean he's going to be a world beater and he's going to be Ronaldo, Messi levels of brilliance, but there's something to him, right? There is a finesse, there's a confidence to his play that it's like it's just like water flowing, like I said before, when you see somebody dance and they just dance like breathing.
Yep. So we're looking our wide players that we've been looking at. And clearly, is it Usama you go by? But we have players that are able to grow into the positions, and tactically, Moyes seems to have good setups for wide players. We've seen that with we're going back to the famous Pina and Baines combo on that left side, but he knows how to. Oh, jeez, come on, Ryan, stop with the Tourette's. So he's passing on the left. Do it. They actually know how to develop wingers and wide play. Yeah. So we have the players that have a good background and have the fundamentals and training through the Barca Academy in this case that have sky's the limit, so really high ceiling, and we have that on the left side. If we can bring someone like a Devlin to the right side, I'm not saying he has the same ceiling, but there is something about the likes of Devlin where you feel like Moyes can get something out of him. I don't think he would be a starter, but these are the types of players. If we're going young and we accept we're not like eighth and winning in Europe this year, but we're getting some of these players in that Moyes wants. That's the result that I want to see.
I think we will get Dibbling. I think that's a deal that Southampton are openly, from what I'm told, they're openly encouraging our interest, and I think he will sign for Everton. But I looked at some of the earlier links to Fofana at Lyon. I thought he was he looked a lot more dynamic, more pace, more two-footed, and I think he would have been our pick of the bunch. And I think it might just be a case of we're just going to have to wait and see what happens. It's so annoying, as Yandal said before, that we haven't got the players in early because you want them to gel. But I think what's going to happen is availability is just going to change as the window goes on. Player X, who we asked for before, he goes, right, actually, you know what? I've waited. I'll join Everton. Player B becomes available. City let Grealish go because I think they can't afford to have a player on 300 grand a week sitting on the bench doing nothing. You know,
where's he gone?
Just doesn't play for them, does he? So, business will happen. It's just I'm just as irritated as you, and I think the reason I'm irritated is because I think it would be highly embarrassing if we go and open that stadium against Brighton and get turned over because we haven't got new players in.
So this is a key point, and the verbiage I understand. Cheer up, guys. We'll get at least another 5 in before the window shuts. We hear that, but it goes back to Ryan's point that, okay, you know who can sign the likes of Matheus Cunha and Bryan Mbeumo? Manchester United. And it isn't because they were good last year, but they have a brand. And when we talk about Big Six or big, 15 of world football, UEFA Champions Leagues, you'll throw in some from Italy, Spain, what have you. They are the market leaders. That people want to go to them first. And then there are exceptions to the rule, either by a really good sales pitch, a personal recommendation, so maybe Seamus Coleman to O'Brien, or there's a bunch of money coming their way, and they are going to be they've sold the project, will pay you to be the leader and be the standard bearer for the new generation. And that goes back to Jan's worry that we keep giving this false promise. And if people are afraid of that false promise that Everton have provided over and over and over again, we need a higher floor and activation energy, or they're just desperate for a club.
Can I just say one thing on transfers, because this has been bothering me. I've been following it every day religiously, and what?
Why your heart, mate? Just no. Just no.
That's why he doesn't show his face anymore. It's just a blank screen.
Oh no, it's because I'm in a dark room. I can't have the lights on now because I'll wake up half the house. What I would say is transfers. I do feel, people are going to get pissed off with me for saying this. Whatever, you might get pissed off as well. I do feel like I've been a bit let down for us to have been 9-10 weeks into this so-called big project. I mean, the club have gone in a different direction. We've got this new stadium with 52,000 fans, which, by the way, you can't bloody get to. The transport and parking situation is pretty.
Oh, Bob! Oh,
let me finish. Let me say my piece. Let me say my piece.
He's disenfranchised. Let him go.
Let me say my piece. We've got this new stadium, which I'm hugely excited about. But, there are some things that aren't perfect about that. I'm sidestepping. But the way the club's going, and Yandalf is not hugely on capitalism, but charging for pre-season friendlies and all this sort of stuff. We're going in a direction where everything is about trying to suck every single £5 note out of your back pocket for anything under the sun. They changed the ticketing system to a ballot, which I think personally could be more of a fair way to get a wider group of fans and a different group of people in the ground every week. But I also see the side where there's been loyal fans who's gone to 18 games last season who now are just as good chance as getting it as someone who doesn't go. So I see both sides of the coin. But the way the club is going, they're changing. They're being run completely different, as evident with charging us to watch a bloody game against Accrington Stanley. So at the least, I want to see you fulfill your side of the fucking promise, because you're charging us an absolute fortune for season tickets. You've had our blind loyalty for however many years you've had it. Now deliver us these players so that we're not turning up to this beautiful new stadium where, no offense, but we've got to claw along the Dock Road with 1,000 other Tom, Dick and Harrys going to Costco. Turning up to I want to watch good players, because I'm telling you now, you're going to quickly suck the life out of the atmosphere in that new stadium if we don't get new signings in. It's 9 weeks in, or nearly 10 weeks, and we haven't had a single player, in my opinion, who would start for us against Brighton. And that's where, and I think just to finalise this point, we've obviously got the talent identification, because Fofana, Diao, all the players, Diaz at Juventus, Jack Grealish, we can spot the players. I've got no doubt we're sticking our fingers in the right
Eyes.
Yeah, we've got the talent identification, but when we're doing the negotiation, I'm going to role play with Jan. Hello, Jan. You're a right winger.
We're going to role play.
You're a right winger. Are you anything but a right winger?
No, I'm left winger.
Okay, you're a fucking lunatic. Anyway, I'll move on to Chris. I'll role play with Chris.
Jan likes long walks down the right wing.
Jan, no, in all seriousness, stop with the innuendo. The euphemism. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let's just actually. Can I just?
Okay,
I'll
fine. Fine. Let's role play. Play. I'm a right winger.
This is what I think's happening. Okay, you're perfect for the role. We want you to come to Everton. Okay,
Everton.
Put yourself in the perspective, right? Please put yourself in the perspective that you are a young, talented player, 21, 22 years of age. You've had a really good season. You're the up and coming star, but you're probably not quite the finished product. Okay, I want you to come for Everton. We've got a new stadium. Just fucking take it serious for 1 second and stop turning everything into sex.
I'm listening. I can listen and still entertain people.
Right. I want you to come. I want you to join Everton. I want you to be part of our project for next season. You've really impressed us last year. You're a very talented right winger. You're everything we want. Would you like to join?
How much money?
Okay, thank you. I am so glad that's the first thing you said, because money talks. Money is the biggest motivator in this scenario. Now, what I think is happening is we probably can match the fees for the clubs if we really wanted to. Get Fofana, give them the 40 million. We could get Dibbling. We could give them the 35 million plus add-ons. I just think we're like we saw, and my evidence for this, guys, is when we did the negotiations for the new contracts with Garner, Gay and Keane, they were dragged out. Believe me, there was a lot of negotiations there, which I thought was absolutely insane. Really,
just get it done.
We lowballed the core. We offered contracts to all of the players that left. I know what you're saying, Jan. Just hold off one sec. They all turned the new contracts down, which to me told me we've tried to cut costs substantially, and deservedly so, because you should only get the wages if your output commands it, which is why Doucouré shouldn't ever have been offered 120,000 or whatever. But the point I'm making is, when we're trying to convince yourself, Yandalf, you've asked me how much money you want. I know you're in your head thinking, I'm an extremely talented footballer. How are you going to compensate me for the fact that I am joining a club which is not at the level where I could get to? That is the fact. I think we are not offering the right salaries to the players. We are not doing enough. There's all well and good saying, "Come, we've got a great stadium."
If you want me to respond to that honestly, which is going to have the unintentional consequence of being rather negative, we've seen a breakdown in the entire pipeline. We've seen a failure of end product from the pipeline of youth development, and we've sold players. We haven't had any high value players that have come through, and the ones that have come through to the team we've desperately needed them, and they haven't been good enough because we haven't had the strength and depth of the first team squad and internationals, and the quality that Anthony Gordon came through as a young lad. Now, the fact that he immediately shines in the team reflects something. Okay, he's not a world beater. He is not a phenomenon that's occurring. He's a good player. But the fact that he immediately stood out in Everton says volumes about our squad, the condition and the caliber of players that we attract. And more than that, the pipeline that comes through, whether you want to blame it on whatever it is, the managers and the breakdown, the training, the backroom staff and the whole teams that have changed. But who have we had? Who have we had? There's been no James Vaughns or Anichebis.
The academy is improbable.
Tom Davies or Tony Hibbert or Leon Osman. I could go on and on and on.
But Yan, please, because you're talking about the academy. We know the academy sucks. The point I'm trying to make, please just focus on this. I'm negotiating with the players that I know will improve the team.
I'm gonna get to that. I understand. Yeah, but the point is, where is the spirit of the club? Where's the camaraderie? And then where is the cohesion that somebody says, come in, welcome to Everton, we got you, we're the team. This is the spirit. And like you say, you're going to count Coleman out, but you can't. And the reason why, it might be having the season at Bramley Moor or shepherding, steering the ship with the managerial changes and everything, right? But the reality is that guy deserves not to be clinging on and be like the old dog that's teaching the puppies, facing the bloody cold on his own. It's not fucking fair to the guy and the amount that he's put in, and he should have won silverware with us. And the fact that players then, there's what's going on at Everton, right? What is there to draw them besides the money? Because the culture is being reinvented. And then even fans like this, when we're talking about, I'm trying to be positive, it ends up being negative because we're talking about the shortcomings and the failures.
Not necessarily, Yan. I'm not necessarily saying let's be negative. All I'm saying is when we're negotiating with these players who are clearly possibly above the level of where we are, it's chicken and egg situation. We need these players to get Europe. Without these players, we're not getting Europe. That's how it works. So at the start of this, we have to accept in the market, we're going to have to compensate these players with bigger salaries than what we want to give. Okay, Fofana, what do you want? Pay the salary, get them in, qualify for Europe. Next season, we could attract players who are in a better position. But right now, we're not. We haven't got anything other behind us other than a few quid. I'm sorry.
We do.
They don't care. These players don't give a shit. That's why we've not signed anyone.
Oh,
they're not asked for the
Pickford
stadium
doesn't give a shit. Tarkovsky doesn't give a shit. These players...
Not them. I'm not talking about
we're talking about two things.
I'm talking about new signings. Why would any prospective new signing give a fuck about the stadium? Genuinely, they want the money. They want Champions League football. We haven't got Champions League football or Europe. We've got to pay the salaries.
Guys, we're talking about a couple of different things here, and I think maybe this ties it back together.
I thought he was talking about transfers.
No, the stadium is a big thing because it massively increases match day revenue, which then allows you to pay wages.
I'll just be a third fiddle.
The revenue means bloody nothing if we don't spend it.
Okay, Ryan, I've brought up now the subs for today. Outside of Dwight McNeil and Travis, this is our future. That it is not. That does not cost $1. If we are, as we know, we overspent in previous seasons. We got into financial trouble, so we need to be fiscally responsible. So where Jan's coming at, I think, if I'm interpreting him correctly, we need to have a youth squad so that we can afford on luxury players once off, because the likes of Harry Trier, Barry, Armstrong, Clark, Onyango, Heath, Thomas are not up to it. We need to supplement all of our players as basically what Americans would call free agents. You've got to spend an upfront amount of cost on transfer fee, and they have to be proven. And because it's an inflated market and they know Everton need players, everything is inflated, but we're trying to be fiscally responsible. How do you do both? You can't.
On a pay to play.
It's a rubbish market when you've got Brozier going to Burnley for 25 million. All it takes is stupid teams buying shitty players for stupid prices, and then the whole market goes and inflates. And this is why we can't get anyone for
And they know we're desperate, so they flank the prices because we don't have squad youth development. We
So
can't.
the players have got to, Chris. Sorry,
we're
the
in
players
trouble.
have got to. The players have got to push to leave, and the only way they can push to leave is if we offer a financial package that is exciting. And there's no point having these stadium revenues because I don't care; they don't go in my pocket. And it's only if it goes on the players and improves what we're watching on the pitch. Because I've done the horrible years, and now I want to see something exciting. And that has comes through these new signings. I can't remember what my point was. Go on.
I'd just like to add there for anybody watching who's feeling a little bit chagrined at that comment there. You've done the bad years.
Yeah, the bad years.
30 bad years, 31 bad years,
Okay.
I'd say.
And this is where it's really tricky because we're entitled as Everton fans to even have Premier League football. So compared to a lot of clubs, we talk like spoiled brats. Just remember that.
Yes, that's because I was just about to compare the doldrums of the 90s that I grew up with watching Everton, thinking like, oh my God, is this football? And then like constantly the realization that for the last few years, it could have gone the very same way of teams that I've watched. Multiple, not just
but we're Everton, and we're not going back to 1920s where you had to have a candle on for electricity.
No, I'm not on about that, mate. I'm on about the 90s, the 1990s, which is
but
where
comparing ourselves to other clubs, we're Everton.
No.
We are entitled because we're Everton.
That kind of hubris is what got us the buying 5 number 10s and not doing anything.
Okay, so this is an argument I've had with people on Twitter. Okay, and on what Chris said about overspending money and needing to be frugal. I'm going to just counter that. I'm not asking you to spend stupid money on players that are not the right fit. I'm not asking you to pay salaries that are over
where's
the top.
Cinderella's foot then? Because
no,
who is the right fit?
No,
okay,
I'm telling you,
finish.
I think the talent. I think the talent identification based on the players we've been linked with is good. I'm telling you, if we need to overpay just on this first
so it was
season,
Thelwell?
Possibly he did find players and he couldn't get them in because of where we were with the finances. But what I'm saying, people think, they always say to me, oh, but Ryan, we can't overspend because we did that under Mashiri. Yeah, we bought rubbish players under Mashiri. I'm not asking you to buy rubbish players and overpay. I'm asking you to buy very good players, pay them the salary that they want, get us Europe, and then we're in a better position. I'm not asking you to go and sign Tom Davis on £500,000 a week.
Okay, Ryan, the way that you were just saying, just go out and buy better players for cheaper and then win the football. It's reminding me of that Mitchell and Webb thing, like the cricket thing.
Do all the right things and the right things
play
win.
the set number of games with the wickets that are meant to be bowled.
It's like accounting principles. Get better value for cheaper players that want to be here. And you're like, but we don't have them.
You know what? The next board meeting, it's like the young intern. It's like the young intern coming to the finance meeting on a Monday morning and going, guys, have we tried increasing revenue?
Have we tried doing more with less?
Yeah.
No, you've completely ignored what I've said, and that's not acceptable because what I've actually said was pay the right players. Oh, you can pay whatever you want for the right. Liverpool do it every bloody year.
Yeah,
they buy the right players and pay them what they want to get them in. I'm not asking you to pay stupid money for the wrong player, and that's what people have got a problem with. They don't want us to spend money because they think it's a Mashiri thing, like we did with them. I'm not asking you to do that. We bought badly. He didn't employ the right people in the right roles to get the deals done. He got influenced by agents. We've got the players there for Fana, Grealish, Diaz. Not Diaz, Luis. If they want to, if they actually have given us an indication they're going to come to Everton, we've got to make it happen. So because these are miles better than what we've got.
Of that list, who is the talisman that you think is the perfect fit to pay a little bit more on to ensure he's over the line to change our fortunes? Which of those players for you? Fofana?
Fofana would be a game changer because we don't really look like scoring goals. So you could say yes. Okay. But then you look at the options in central midfield. We've only got 3, of which Tim looks awfully raw for me. Garner will not play 90 minutes every week. So you could argue that Douglas Luiz is an outstanding in his Aston Villa history, is a real gem in that midfield who could elevate us to another level. But, you know, I'm not asking you to get mercenaries. I just think Can you just, you two, give me your perspective on this then? What is going on with the transfers behind the scenes? Because I'm trying to tell you, I think it's the fact we're not offering enough money, the wages, to compensate for the lack of Europe.
No. Do you want to field that? I've got my thing, but mine's
Okay.
mine's just.
I'm actually closer to Ryan than I'm kind of just being a bit of a pot stirrer here on hour 3 for me. But where Ryan's at, money is a component that will bring people over the line. But a lot of the time, because we're not the biggest club, if others are willing to pay that money that aren't Everton, but it's the likes of a United or just some club that's currently in Europe, we are not going to win that bid. We are second fiddle to somebody else, and money can but may not be the driver to say I'm definitely signing right now or I'll wait. And I think the likes of Douglas Luiz, was it Douglas Luiz we're talking about? Those kind of guys, they could go somewhere else that's in Europe, and I think they're going to wait, and we'll have to spend, and we're kind of in such a rough situation. No matter what we do, it's going to take a bit.
Well, Chris, you know a friend of ours who recently took a job. He was offered a job. He had a really good job, decent salary, or he was offered a job. It was double his wage, but he had to work away every couple of weeks, and he couldn't be around his family. So you've got to think about that perspective. He's got a really good job on the table, but or he's got one where he's only double the salary, but he's got to shovel shit every week. Do you understand what I'm saying? You have to be compensated for the fact it isn't the place to go. We aren't the destination club, and we're not in Europe. Chris, sorry to use that analogy, but I think you know our mutual friend.
No, I know what you're saying. But in this case, the money is still not good enough to justify the move, even if they're willing to offer it, because the shoveling shit job in this scenario or this example, it still isn't enough to make them go across the dotted line. The pressure of not having a club,
because it's not just a job,
and time to think about it, it
reflects on
still makes it less stress-free enough so they sit.
But these players are 20.
Needs to be more fire on it.
Most of these players are like 19, 20, 21. Why do they want everything now? Why does the modern day person need
because
to have
that's expected
everything now?
of them. They're used to the money.
That's
their right to demand things.
That's the world they live in, and they have a market where they don't look in life. It's okay to put yourself first, because nobody else will consistently do that, right? And they might have agents. Why is there an agent? It's not because they love the player. They see themselves as a piggyback. Right? They're going to follow their best interests as long as the player's good and there's financial opportunities. That's the way the world works, right? So when you say they're 19, 20, they're asking this, you have to look that these are pivotal times for players, because it's make or break. You've gone through the youth academy, you've found a team, you've made it a break. You maybe get to a bigger stage. Whether you're talking about the big 5 leagues,
they want Europe now.
Yeah. But they want Europe now. What they mean by that is the point is they don't necessarily want the same 15, 20 clubs that are guaranteed European football, but at the age and the pivotal point, they want to demonstrate that they're vying for European football, that they're in a squad that is full of other people that have that same ambition, and you end up with overperformers finishing higher in the league. Forest and that kind of hungry mentality that Everton seem to be lacking. That's the kind of point I was getting at. And you can't blame a player for going, you know what, I don't want to tie my make or break pivotal time 4 years down to a club where they're not even vying for European football.
So I'll offer you the contract, Jan. You've stated I've been negotiations with you. I've offered you the salary you want. You're still fighting me back. So I'll tell you what, you're 20 years of age. You can have a 2-year. After 2 or 3 years of your contract, if Everton aren't in the Champions League and a Champions League club comes in for you, I've got a release clause there that would reflect, your market value based on today if you were that level. So, there's things we could do to make it very attractive to them. I think the one player, that would have really helped us straight away would have been Jack Grealish, because I think if you get a big name in early, other players in negotiations go, ooh, maybe they're actually onto something here. They've just signed Jack Grealish.
The tricky part with this, Ryan, is if someone is failing at one club, does it sell, as well as if they were doing well and then made the move? That's the one caveat, I think.
Why are you both laughing?
Daniel Barton's message is good.
Right. But look, at the end of the day, if you two could be semi-serious for just one moment.
Wait a second. I've been serious for 3 hours. What are
Chrissy,
you talking
please.
about?
You know what, mate? There's 7,000 people watching on Twitter. 7,000 people. Not one of you can be asked to just spend 1 second and come over on YouTube and bloody subscribe. Just do it, okay? Help us out. We're trying to grow this channel. If you want us to, I'm blunt about it. 7,000 people. But, you know, do you think we'll get the players in? Because we won't speak now for a few days, but
I think we'll get three. I think we'll get 3 players in, and I think Tyler Diblin is the first.
yeah.
I think we'll get another central midfielder. I don't know who that'll be right now. I don't think it'll be as high profile as the ones that we've been linked with.
They really do think Dibbling is very, very high potential. But what I find interesting is I think he's a perfect fit for Everton, probably the player as well. Because, look,
because he wants to come and we need players.
So in terms of who I think we need based on what I've seen in pre-season, in terms of order of priority, right wing is a complete and utter shambles and is desperate for one, maybe one who can play right-footed right winger, maybe a left-footed right winger. I then want 2 central midfielders, one who can also play as a playmaker or in the 10, and then one who's an out-and-out defensive midfielder who's going to come in and break legs when we need to, when we're 2-0 up and we just got to stifle the opposition.
So
the new Ghana
then a right back.
Really.
We need a right back, but I think Jacob Bryan's okay. I think if you offered me the other 4 positions and said, Ryan, we're going to get 2 right wingers, they're going to score goals, they're going to make things happen, they're going to excite you, we're going to get you a playmaker and a defensive midfielder, and that is it. But because of that, Jacob Bryan's your right back this season with Patterson as a backup. I'd probably say, okay, I can accept that, more than accept that. And actually, I think part of the problem is maybe we're trying to spread this budget too thinly, trying to get 10 players. And that's why we're going 27 million, 25 million, 24 million. Maybe we can't get 10, maybe we can get 6. But pay what they want to get there over the line, because just make sure the talent
I think that's
identification.
already the point, because the fact that they're working on fitness so hard demonstrates that you're going to need some core. We're not going to have a big squad this season. We're not going to have a big squad this season.
When I see people say we need another left winger, I think that's a scenario where we're probably a bit too deep there as it is, relative to the rest of the squad, especially with Aznou can probably jump up there. So I think and as Ryan's saying, I think right wing is critical. Right back, we can get by as long as we have a right winger.
Yeah,
I think we need central midfield cover, because if Ghana Gay is either at African Cup of Nations or injured, you are in real trouble in the middle.
God, I forgot about that. And Ndai and Ghana are going to go to the African Cup of Nations.
Yep.
And I think there's another couple of them as well. I mean, at the moment, if the season started tomorrow, you know, you think about Coleman, but he made 2 appearances last season and 9 the season before, not many minutes. The squad is so thin. I think there are pub teams playing for, you know, that is the thing that's making me anxious. And Chris and Jan, we've been in the past where we've got to deadline day and we've been sat there refreshing, waiting for business and haven't done it. And I'm talking about even times when we've had money and then you come out and gone, we tried. Well, try now. Try now. Sorry, I know it's easier said than done.
Well, we know they're we know they're trying, but they can't just say we're trying. Desperation screams price increase. I
just think you don't even get a slice of bread for £2.50 in the supermarket anymore. You know, you've seen how inflation works. It's affecting all walks of life, and football is an absolute shambles when you've got Chelsea who just go out and do whatever they want and inflate the market and buy every single loaf of bread in the shop and leave nothing left for anyone.
Well, if I'm using my British analog here, we need to ask David Moyes to go find players at Iceland.
But with the food taste of M&S.
Yeah. Capture lightning in a bottle and ask for miracles. Yeah. And that's the challenge we have.
but we got told there's 150 million to spend.
Hey,
But the
I
second they
think,
tell us that, then everybody else knows that they have 150
Chris,
million to spend.
Chris, I don't want to gatekeep this, but you're not Scouse enough, and Ryan, I don't think you're old enough. But I think at this rate, we need to go looking in fucking Netto.
My mum used to take me there after school. It was the Yellow Dog, and I think it turned into a pub, and now it's an Aldi in Gattaca. If anyone remembers, anyone watching in Liverpool.
There used to be a Netto coming off the tunnel out of going to Prenton in Birkenhead as well. Oh, sorry.
Should we go to Pound Stretcher or Pound Saver? That's the next one on this list.
Home and bargain. It's home and bargain, lad.
We're clearly not actually looking in those markets. And if, I know, okay, this sounds so pathetic, but and I haven't played FIFA in a little while or Football Manager, but sometimes when we get linked with a player, I look at what the ratings are, and I actually found it. No, just hear me out 1 sec. I know it sounds ridiculous, but no, because these are based on data analysts who like try and work it out. So I looked at all the right. Why are you laughing so?
Because I can just picture you like looking at him. I don't know. It's like it's sort of watching the Lego movie or something. I don't fucking know.
No. I'm gonna have to turn my camera on in a minute because this is hilarious. But what?
How did you break it so easy?
Camera.
Oh, Camden.
I could turn my camera on, but what I was saying was, I looked to see what the rating is of the. I looked to see at the who the highest rate. I'm gonna have to.
No, but like I get it, Ryan, and it's like I've thought the same thing. You basically say, you know what, they have algorithms and apps and recommendations, but you know what? Every club has data like that. That's the funny
and this
part,
is why there's no excuse when it comes to talent identification. But the point, can I just finish this little point? I went on FIFA and I put in right wingers, and I just to see who the highest rated right wingers were, who were realistic. And the first one was Kubo, 81 rated. But when you look above them, they're all like players who are already at like Man City. So it looks like we're looking at players who were highly rated on FIFA. Almost like the best of the rest. Kubo, Bafana. They seem to be the best of the rest.
Yeah.
Yes, we want Serginho Dest and Camavinga and and all these players that everybody buys for their team when they go into manager mode.
Kubo was at Real Sociedad, so I'm saying I was looking at who the options were because I was thinking, how does it work? I want to look at every right midfielder and every right winger, and I look from the list from the top down, and it's like Mo Salah and all that, and then you get to the point where it's all the non-names. Who is the one who could be available who isn't already at a Real Madrid, a Man City, a Liverpool, an Arsenal? Do you know what I'm saying? And it was Kubo, 81 Real Sociedad. So, okay, it sounds stupid, but no, I'm not a football expert because I play FIFA and Football Manager. I was just looking to see.
I'm not laughing at you.
Them.
I'm not laughing at you. I'm picturing Kevin Thelwell in an office next to Frank Lampard on an Xbox going, yeah, Frank, come have a look at it.
That's what they did with Delhi.
And then it's like he has a manager rating and doesn't pass his performance eval on Football Manager.
Everybody in football knows who the good players are. The scouts are everywhere. The data analysts are everywhere. I don't think the talent... he's a good player, Tom Fellows. You know that when I said we need a left-footed right winger and a right winger, Daniel Barton thinks I'm some sort of guest coming, being brought on the phone.
I mean, to be fair, you are not a football expert, Ryan. I'm not. Chris is, well, he's probably more considered than me and articulate. We do sometimes come up with insightful reflections on it. I'm not necessarily, we've all got our little strong points, but if we were that successful, we'd have qualifications and we'd be working in the football industry.
I wouldn't be sat owning a fucking Everton channel if I knew about football. I'd be doing my UEFA B licenses and manager of Bootle FC.
You start at Waterloo, mate, not Bootle.
But listen, I am getting impatient. I am getting annoyed. I am getting frustrated because the season starts in less than, I think for the other clubs, it started 2 weeks yesterday or 2 weeks on Friday. And we haven't brought a single player in who I think improves us. I think as it stands, they haven't held their promise that we're going to give you the squad. We're going to give you the team to compete and make you proud. Ask me the same question in 4 weeks. I'm telling you now, all hell will break loose if we don't get the players in 4 weeks.
So there is I'm glad Joey 11's talking about Danish league and this kind of thing, because we invested in scouts in Scandinavia. That may not come to fruition right now, and if we're demanding European placements, you have to sacrifice money up front, as we've said, and we may hamstring ourselves for sustainable spending in the future by doing so. But at the same time, are the fans willing to accept let's say we were 14th or 13th again, this type of spot, and we know we're not getting relegated and we're sustainable, and every transfer window we're slowly but surely bringing players in, but not seeming so desperate that we need them. And that's how Moyes was able to slowly build. He got the likes of the Jagielka, the Baines, Heitingers, Peanut, all of these. They didn't come in one window.
Our mistake was
little bits
pissing
at a
away
time,
money.
and it built the squad. So if we're accepting, we're not going to have miracles, and as a fan base, we're not doing nothing. We're bringing a few players in, so we don't riot, but we're not fully satisfied. But we trust the process that we're bringing in some of those right players. I'm okay, but I would love it if we had 4 or 5 brilliant signings before that, like Brian's talking.
Can I give you an analogy or a metaphor for that that's relatable? Is that you're right, because part of the reason why we're in this situation, one of the big reasons, can you boil it down? It might be oversimplistic. I've waffled on about it at length. We pissed away money irresponsibly. Mm-hmm. That's the truth of the situation, and you can't recoup it. And we had various other factors as to why and how that happened, but that's just the bottom line of it. And you're exactly right. That's exactly what Moyes did before. He played Moneyball. He followed that the Brad Pitt film, The Principle of Getting the Best Value. You're looking at the utilitarian application of getting the best value for the player that you need in that position, and what you can do, and whether they're going to add value on the books, and whether they're going to be a saleable asset at the end of their tenure when you then look to replace them in the ship of Theseus. You want to replace all the parts so that it's a constant working ship. But if it's like a relationship, oh God, that was terrible. I didn't mean that to be.
Yeah, all good.
But if it is like, if it's like a relationship, people don't start married intuitively knowing anything. It takes work, and it's not grand gestures. It's not big things saying, "Oh, I love you," and this is going to fix it. Like the man who says he loves his wife and goes home and beats. No. It's little things every day, incremental changes to become in sync, simpatico, understanding 1,000 choices and compromises, and that's what Chris is saying. I agree with him. We can't expect 10 marquee signings. We can't expect.
I'm not asking for that.
You have 1 or 2.
Dan, I just want to say, you've talked about David Moyes in the past there. When did David Moyes ever need that volume? Was there ever a transfer win? I remember 2007-8, he brought in Yakubu and Pienaar and Baines. He brought in a lot of players. But when has he ever had a squad stripped down to arguably 15 competent professionals?
When they sold Bruni?
When have we had 15 competent professionals?
For 20 years, a whole lifetime, a whole generation and more. So this is unprecedented. I actually think now in hindsight, well, I don't really, but if we'd have had Calvert-Lewin, Decore, Lindstrom, Jack Harrison, I hate most of them, I'll be honest, but possibly if they'd have already had their contracts with us for another year or two on lesser wages, we almost would have been in a position where we could go, okay, well, we possibly can compete in the top 10 based on the squad we had last year, because we saw what David Moyes did. Can we embellish this with 2 marquee players, maybe a real outstanding central midfielder and a
So
right
who would those
winger.
be, though? Who would those be for you?
It's only because, sorry, I will answer that. It's only because we've lost 10 players that I'm in this position where I'm like, Christ. And I know he doesn't want to buy players of the same standard he's just left because it's just pointless.
Of the players,
What was your question?
Well, those marquee signings, who would they be? Because it's not going to be a keeper. It's not going to be a striker it would be a waste of money after Beto and Chimiti and all the kind of backs and forwards and DCL. We might get a backup, but I don't. We bought Barry, right? So who's it going to be?
If we'd have kept that same team from last season, and all of them, I'm not saying go out and buy Jack Harrison or Lindstrom. Let's say they were already there.
We're going
they
to
were
miss
already terms. I would say go and get a right wing. Everyone laugh, and then everyone hates this. Well, half of you hate this because this is so diversive.
Richie?
But Richarlison, if you bought him, sorry. If you bought Richarlison and said, listen, you were coming in, you're playing off the right, you can tuck in narrow, but when we haven't got the ball, I need you to defend off the right. He gets you double figures. Instantly, Everton then are 2-3 places higher up. Then I go and get a right back who can bomb on. They're the two positions. Or a central midfielder like Douglas Luiz, maybe. Or a right back. And I say to my right back, your job, you'll get beyond, you'll provide the width because Richarlison's not playing on the wing. He's just there when we're out of possession. And I tell you now, with the rest of the players, that's how you grow steadily. We would have been able to compete a bit higher this season. Then the following season, you might go, where can we improve? Mikolenko's out of contract. I'll bring in a marquee left back. Just one player, two player maybe. But we can't do that. We can't do that.
We have to pay up front for a couple marquee signings. And at that point, chip away at... Yeah, it's basically, if you're doing a car analogy or something, you need the key things need to be serviced, and then you can do some stuff around the edges. But you need to have a working vehicle that's sustainable. Then you can do some little moving parts, and you're wanting to get those marquee signings through.
You don't worry about the panel work if you haven't got a working engine.
Yeah, which is what Ryan's saying. You want some of those marquee signings, and I think we all want. I think we need two marquee signings. In terms of
negotiations, how I would approach this, certain players like Dibbling, I think will have their head turned by Everton, for sure, because they're young, they're English, they can see the direction of what Everton is doing. You can turn the player's head, and that forces Southampton possibly to lower their asking price. Maybe 35 million is the compromise that needs to be done with that one. With someone like, for example, Fofana, the Champions League clubs haven't come in for him. We may not need to offer the salary, but if we offered a fee which no one else matched, to the point where Lyon pushes Fofana
and you do it
Everton,
early. Yeah.
You know, Lyon then say, well, listen, I've had this offer from Everton from 40 million. You know, I'm not therefore going to sell him for 30 million to you because he wants to join you. So the player, the agent, the clubs can push into to us. And I don't think at this stage we've done any of that kind of dirty work.
Yeah. And if you're willing to go early, you bypass the bidding war of too many competitors before the Champions League clubs come for let's say, their second wave of interested players, and then they come to Fofana. So if you go early, you put your money up on the table, and it's a safe pick for Fofana to come to us financially.
But at the end of the day, I think everyone accepted the biggest problem that we've got is goal scoring. We could all accept everything else: goal scoring, goal scoring, goal scoring. If we'd have had a budget and it was maybe one player at the start of the window, it would have absolutely been centre forward. It's where the game is won and lost. That's where my investment would have been. And I'd rather have one Benjamin Sesko than two Barrys. I know that sounds terrible, but that's just where the money is. It's all in the goal scoring.
Yeah. You think of Everton in recent years, and you think of Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin in their time with Ancelotti, but you go back to Lukaku. We spent up front on him, and he changed the look of Everton. Before that, you had all sorts of strikers trying to break through, but it wasn't the same look. Jelavic had one flash in the pan season. Basically, we paid up front. We paid a lot of money to get Lukaku. And that type of commitment to a striker it may seem a lot, but once you have that, then you'll get within reason, as long as they don't go out of form, you're guaranteed a baseline of goals to work the team around. And I think that's a good point. So again, you're just coming back. Yeah. Ryan was saying if you could spend a whole bunch of money on one marquee striker, then the holes around the rest of the ship don't seem as bad because we're scoring the goals and we can work our way through it. So getting two smaller budget strikers that don't get the goals in. No,
forgive me. I don't want to be negative about it, but that would be trying to put gasoline on a fire and expecting it to go out, or water and expecting it to go up in flames, because you're throwing money at a marquee signing that in principle, well, how does a striker score? Because the ball does not materialize at his feet. Right, so that's my thinking. Is that if we cannot do the fundamentals, that hang on. He asked me my opinion on this, and I don't want to be negative. I think that going out and signing a marquee signing that's purely a striker would be a mistake. When we've bought Barry, we've got Beto and Chimiti, and we've had the issue over DCL, and it's going to undermine the mentality of players, which clearly has been an ongoing issue at Everton. To then not shore up a position which we are in more dire need of,
Has he gone?
which I would much rather us go out and not buy a striker and spend the money on Richarlison, who actually puts a shift in and has a footballing soul on the pitch. He knows what he's doing. He knows what's asked of him, and he gets stuck in.
I agreed, but not everything's romantic. I just think it was all for me at the start of the window. If you'd have asked me what position I wanted, as much better, I would have told you. I would if we could only have one player to transform it, it would have been a centre forward who scores goals, who scores 15 goals, who comes in and transforms the positivity of the club and every single person. And yes, he needs service, but I also think sometimes when we had Lukaku up front, everyone was so lifted, buoyed by the fact you just know this guy, he's a monster, he's just going to finish. You know what I mean? If you stuck Lukaku in this team now, I bet you every other player gives 10% extra, can deliver, because they know they've got that monster up front who's going to finish. You can get the service and you can start thinking, right, I've got a striker now. We are going to get the ball into the box. We're going to play more 50-50 crosses that we might lose the ball. We might get turned over. We might be vulnerable. We might not. But we take more risks because we know we've got someone up there who can finish.
Yes. But the point being, if we're scoring goals, but we're not keeping clean sheets, and we're throwing games away, and we're turning draws into losses, what's the difference of having a better goal difference?
Well, Jan,
because the defense is okay at the moment.
We're okay.
I'm just playing devil's advocate, of course, here.
Our defense is fine. As I say, I would like a right back, but I could accept Jake O'Brien, Mikalenko, Tarkovsky, and could the fourth best defense in the league last season. Yeah. Every penny at the start of the year, the priority has to be centre forward, and we've bought. I not want to sound negative, but we've gone and bought a young, unproven striker.
Were you advising Mashiri, Klaassen, Sigurdsson? Sorry, we need a centre forward. We fucking don't, mate.
I'm not sure we would go for one now. I'm just saying I would have.
It's funny. Come on. Not everything I say is super serious.
I know. I hate to harp on about this.
Yeah.
But as I say, I would rather have one £60 million player who is class than two decent players who may be a hit or a miss.
Look, but we've seen things. Why was Lukaku good, and Yukubu and Traore and all these players? Because there's a physicality. If you've got strength and speed, nobody really cares the finesse on your football. They wax lyrical about this. Of course, there's plenty of skills, and not many players are complete footballers. But now it's about speed, reactions, and speed. But that finesse. That finesse is a fine thing. It's not about being a footballer anymore. And you see fewer footballers, and that's why you see all these tactics of falling over and doing certain things and routines and this mentality. Now, it's not the same nature of football that peaked in the early 2000s, I would say, right? The beauty to mid-2000s to 2010. Beautiful football. And even before that, I'm not going to go off on a sidetrack, right? But maybe Chimiti has that. We saw moments of when he first came and he played a few matches and minutes here, there was like this lad has something. Please keep hold of him. And I'm so glad we did. And you just seem to have written him off without any consideration of the fact that he's
Written
a
him
young
off
lad
for now at this level.
There is still a young lad who is physically developing, and he might need strength. He might need to bulk out. It might need to be his chest and his shoulders, and
doesn't matter. Look at Patterson. There's only so much your physique can do. Patterson looks like a bodybuilder, but every time he got through one-on-one against Blackburn and Accrington, he skied it to the corner flag. What I think alone for Chimiti as an individual, we're talking about individuals for some reason. I'm not written him off. I'm just saying right now he's not good enough for the first team for where we want to be. So you loan him.
Yeah. And I think, and maybe I've forgotten the matches I've seen Chimiti in the last season or so, but we saw him briefly, and this is where I think this whole conversation to bring Ryan in started from. In pre-season, it's always tricky.
I'm on the itty bitty Chimiti committee.
Okay, so in pre-season, if you do well, it's pre-season, and if you do poor, you should be doing better. So it sometimes feels like a lose-lose, depending on the perspective on how players are doing. What we saw was Chimiti, at least on the games that before he pulled out injured. I think it was against Salford, and I'm forgetting the other one. But he was taking on players, scoring goals, and looking composed. Granted, it's against a lower opposition, but he was showing something that seemed a little bit more consistent and composed in those games. And then he's been injured, and we haven't really seen him in the first team given that opportunity with to start a match, with that setup of players that can actually give him a good feed. He can time his runs. So he hasn't been given the situation to shine. It's kind of this chaos at the end. It's a bit like throw Calvert-Lewin in, throw in Beto at the same time and hope for results. Maybe throw Michael Keane in there and just bomb the ball long. Is that how Chimiti's going to score goals? Maybe not. So then you say he's not doing well enough because he's not given the opportunity at what he would be good at doing with the full squad ahead of him. Is he getting the service that he would excel at? No, maybe not. And if now you're committed to Beto and Barry, may as well loan him off so he gets back into rhythm of starting matches and getting results in championship level for a bit. Bring him back mid-season and see how he goes.
What strikes me really in terms of the positive play today, we seem to look. It didn't come off for us, but the ball into Beto, the Alcaraz. Setting traps up for Man United to give the ball away in the middle of the pitch, to then turn them over with Alcaraz, Irabunum, and Ndiaye and try and get in behind with better. I could see what we were trying to do. It's when maybe a team sits behind us and has 9 men behind the ball, and we've only got that creative player Ndiaye, and none of the other players look like they have anything to kind of break in between the lines. That's where
Irabunum has some intent. He looks for the right balls forward.
Yeah, and he was actually
very
promising today.
We need Artetas, we need Pinars, we need Osmonds, we need that kind of player. We need creative, nice attacking footballers and a centre forward who's going to score.
I will say today, Tim Irabunum in a high pressing secondary to Beto, he was inducing turnovers and was actually part of the build up play, and nearly involved in scoring opportunities with Charlie Alcaraz and others. Charlie was very close a few times, so it's almost like he's trying to commute to work, pick up someone perfectly on time at the bus, and keep going. And it's like you have these really tight little avenues where he's trying to coordinate with Beto, and it didn't line up. So it's a high risk, high reward type passing.
They were nearly very good. Very good. The margins are so fine, and the difference between nearly very good and crap is minimal.
Well, it is when you get
there was high risk maneuvers, but it was interesting that they were trying to take it on today in that respect. So I just wanted to give them the credit where it's due, that it was a much better performance by those guys creatively. It didn't always work out, but you could tell what they were trying to do.
Well, you say that, right? But there were moments when I was just a little bit concerned that it was not a concern for our safety. And, it's all based on this. We need to sign more players. But as you pointed out, United and many other teams have teams full of superstars. Now, and you've seen, was it Brozier going to Burnley or whatever it was? These inflated costs and the fact that Mbeumo's gone to United, who are you going to see coming in and out of places is still open with quite a long time left. Now, the concern for me is that how far off the mark are we when it comes down to actually playing those moments of football? How much potential in the bank? Because, it's all well and good. On a certain racetrack, on a certain day, based on the conditions and the drivers and the competition and the whole field, you could have a rally, a Ford Focus rally car that's doing as well as some sort of sports cars or supercars that are worth cost 5-10 times as much as it, right? But when it comes to football clubs, over the course of a season, you don't get that the parity. How much more do we have in our tank? Are we already redlining to keep up with Bournemouth and Man United pre-season? That's my question.
The squad, or are you saying financially?
Sorry, Chris.
Go Ryan.
Just the skill, the potential of the players on the pitch to play with the skill that United.
The potential is there. I think practice those turnovers, practice those transitions, practice those situations where we rob the ball back, and we'll get there. And you guys have been absolutely incredible, both of you, particularly Chris, obviously, for doing the extended length on this stream, and you've got 7,500 people watching, which is the size of the park end. So I just want to congratulate Chris for that, really, because those viewers have stuck with for a reason. So it's because the content's been outstanding. And if you agree, I have mentioned it. I've got to say it because this is my channel. I feel like I need to push you into this. But you're watching on X, that's fine. But please do come over to YouTube if you can. If you've got a YouTube account, youtube.com/follow Everton. Hit the subscribe button on there to support us. You'll see what streams are coming up. And you'll see more of us. And I think, to be honest, boys, maybe we should leave them wanting more now. I've got a young baby, and it's 1:30, and I've got to be up probably crack of dawn. So that's all I've got to say. But I've really enjoyed the little debate there. And yes, it may end up like Piers Morgan Uncensored, but I think if we all agreed with each other here, it would be a little bit boring.
Yeah, no, and my positivity comes from Jake O'Brien. He missed two goal scoring opportunities today, but from a centre back playing out of position, he opens up that side. We look good at four at the back when he's there, and he could have scored 2 today. And if you have people not the striker contributing to goals, and he converts those opportunities, we're talking differently today. That's my end.
I've got
Positivity
to go.
Again. Yeah.
Sorry.
Catch you, Ryan.
Love you both. See you soon.
What's your final? Ryan. Is there a poem for such days?
I've got loads of poems, actually. I've been doing some lately. I've been putting more on social media, but not really so many football ones. But do you want a poem?
I mean, if we can spin this,
I've got a funny one.
Reference.
I've got a funny one that'll resonate with Scousers.
All right, let's do that, and we'll close up. How about that?
Yeah, all right then. Well, there's certain slang that's used around Liverpool that's not often used by many other people around other parts of the world. So I'll throw it out there. It's called making lemonade. If I turn a phrase in a lazy phase because I can't complete a line, it's only serendipitous because I'm searching for reason and rhyme. If life gives you lemons, it's a lemo slip and slide. No wonder all the fellas leave the bogs all teary-eyed. If there's a line, a wait or pause, the cubicle's for me. You got to learn to wait your turn. Patience, there's the key. No, it's in the bag. You're on the blag. Your missus ain't about. Come over here. I'll bend your ear to get this up your snout. It won't take much convincing, despite your moral mincing. I don't see you heading home, and when they start spacing out the fixes, you get pacing and scrolling through the contacts on your phone. The conversationists are phoning at 3:30 in the morning as they're hanging on for each successive line. And though you start to bore me, the climax of the story gets more depressing and funnier each time.
All right.
Yeah.
And that's the close for tonight.
Terrible
and
content.
And you're perfectly good. And until next time, everyone, up the toffees.